In the radiant dawn, the bustling city of Lyon in the Yan Kingdom awakens. This panoramic view captures the city's traditional architecture, with its towering wooden structures and ornate rooftops glowing under the morning sun. The streets buzz with a diverse crowd of locals and travelers, all immersed in the hustle of daily life, their conversations blending into a vibrant cacophony that breathes life into the city's ancient stones. The focus shifts to the illustrious 10,000 Treasures Pavilion, a revered cultural landmark known for its vast repository of ancient wonders. The building stands majestic against the light, drawing crowds who are drawn by the promise of witnessing rare artifacts. The excitement is palpable, with the crowd's eager murmurs reflecting their anticipation of the treasures that await inside. Inside the pavilion's auction room, the air is thick with anticipation. A hushed audience fills the seats, their attention fixed on the auction stage where a poised figure introduces the day's coveted items. Whispers fill the room about the martial arts techniques being auctioned, sacred skills rumored to have originated from the spiritual lands of the human race, powerful enough to challenge even the finest warriors of Lyon City. Inside the shadowy confines of the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion's auction room, anticipation among the gathered elite is palpable. A lone figure stands on the auction stage, bathed in the harsh spotlight, as murmurs swirl around the room about the legendary martial arts techniques up for bid. The artifacts, shrouded in tales of ancient power, are rumored to have come from the sacred lands, capable of bestowing immense prowess on their wielders. In a dramatic turn, the narrative zooms in on a young, confident noble, Lin Yunkai, from the prestigious Lin family of Lyon City. Known for their wealth and influence, his presence raises the stakes. He stands with an air of unwavering confidence, surrounded by advisors and bodyguards, declaring boldly that none present are capable of outbidding him for the prized artifacts. His statement sets a defiant tone, marking him as a formidable contender in this high-stakes auction. The grand entrance of the auctioneer captivates the audience as she elegantly graces the stage with a twist and turn, her vibrant hair and exquisite attire reflecting the light. With an air of theatrical flair, she announces that the long-awaited treasure auction at the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion is about to begin, setting the stage for an event filled with high stakes and grandiose expectations. As the auction begins, the auctioneer, pavilion manager Nalan, introduces a prized item with great enthusiasm. She presents the mountain-moving technique, a legendary martial arts skill from the five-element sacred land, showcasing it as a marvel of ancient wisdom and power. The item, enclosed in an ornate box, symbolizes the deep history and profound mastery embedded within its pages. The bidding erupts into a fervent competition as affluent and eager bidders shout their stakes, each increment outdoing the last. The bids soar from 300,000 to a staggering 400,000 gold coins in mere moments, illustrating the immense value and desperate desire of the attendees to possess the mountain-moving technique, a testament to their ambitions and the lengths they are willing to go to achieve mastery. As the bids reach a fever pitch, Lin Yunkai shocks the auction room with a staggering bid of 3 million gold coins. His declaration sends ripples through the crowd, as he contemptuously remarks on the lesser bids as mere haggling of beggars. The audacity of his bid underlines the power and wealth of the Lin family, casting a shadow over the other hopefuls who appear disheartened and overwhelmed by the soaring price. The crowd reacts with a mix of shock and resignation as the auctioneer echoes Lin's bid, questioning if anyone dares to challenge this overwhelming amount. The tension is palpable, with some attendees expressing disbelief and desperation, wondering if they can even afford to continue in this high-stakes bidding war. The escalating prices reflect the deep pockets and ruthless determination of the bidders involved. In a powerful display of wealth and influence, the auctioneer calls for further bids, while the crowd murmurs among themselves, acknowledging the sheer financial might of the Lin family. They question who, if anyone, can compete with such formidable bidders. As Lin Yunkai confidently raises his hand, ready to claim his prize, it becomes clear that the mountain-moving technique, a relic of immense power and prestige, is almost within his grasp. In a dramatic twist, another bidder enters the fray with an astonishing bid of 30 million gold coins, immediately overshadowing Lin Yunkai's previous offer. This staggering amount sends shockwaves through the auction room, as the audacious bidder confidently declares their intent to win. This pivotal moment shifts the power dynamics and ups the ante significantly, reflecting the high stakes of this auction. The crowd reacts with both awe and humor to the extravagant bid, with comments flying about how the amount is sufficient to buy the entire city of Liyun. The bidder's audacity not only challenges Lin Yunkai's dominance, but also turns the auction into a spectacle of wealth and power. The laughter and jeers directed at Lin reflect the dramatic and entertaining nature of the bidding war, turning the auction into a battleground of egos and fortunes. Lin Yunkai's frustration mounts visibly as rain seems to pour down on him alone, a visual metaphor for his displeasure and cooling anger. He demands to know who dared to challenge him so boldly, voicing his indignation at being outbid in such a dramatic fashion. His pride appears wounded by this unexpected competition, showcasing his disbelief and the threat to his dominance in the auction. The tension in the auction room heightens as the auctioneer prepares to finalize the sale. She reiterates the astonishing 30 million gold coin bid, hinting that the auction is nearing its conclusion. Meanwhile, Lin Yunkai's advisor tries to calm him, emphasizing that they should not let emotions dictate their actions, subtly reminding him of their broader strategic goals beyond just winning this bid. The gavel falls, and the auctioneer declares the mountain-moving technique sold to the mysterious high bidder. Lin Yunkai's defeat is marked by his sullen departure, with the narrative reflecting on the harsh reality of a world where only the wealthy or bold can triumph. The auction concludes, leaving a mix of awe and resignation among the crowd, as they discuss the implications of the monumental bid and the dramatic turn of events. Just as the crowd starts to disperse, thinking the auction is over, the auctioneer makes a surprising announcement. With a flourish, she presents the Heavenly Ascension Order, the final and most extraordinary treasure of the day. This item, glowing with an almost divine light, captivates everyone's attention, heralding a new round of high-stakes bidding. The starting bid for the Heavenly Ascension Order is set at 2 million gold coins, with each subsequent bid required to be at least 100,000 coins more. The aura surrounding the item suggests its immense power and rarity, instantly reigniting the fervor of the crowd, who are now eager to witness or participate in the battle for this ultimate prize. As the bidding starts, Lin Yunkai receives a strategic nudge from his advisor, highlighting the importance of the Heavenly Ascension Order for gaining favor with the influential city lord's mansion. It suggested that obtaining this item could have implications far beyond its immediate power, potentially opening doors to new alliances and political power. In this vibrant and intense manga scene, two characters are engrossed in a conversation about a powerful and mystical item known as the Heavenly Ascension Order. The younger character, curious and wide-eyed, eagerly inquires about the nature of this coveted artifact. His elder brother, poised and knowledgeable, explains that the Heavenly Ascension Order is a revered artifact that grants its holder unfettered access to a sacred land for cultivation, a privilege that is extremely difficult for mortals to obtain, likened to ascending to heaven itself. He further elaborates that normally, entry into this sacred land requires meeting stringent age, qualification, and cultivation level criteria, and passing a rigorous entrance examination. However, possession of the Heavenly Ascension Order exempts the holder from all these requirements, allowing direct entry for cultivation. This revelation is underscored by luminous and dramatic illustrations of the artifact in question, glowing intensely as it floats above the outstretched hand of a character, symbolizing its immense power and desirability. As the conversation unfolds, the elder brother mocks a recent extravagant bidder at an auction, suggesting that despite his wealth, the bidder is ignorant of the true value and significance of the Heavenly Ascension Order, labeling him a naive newcomer to high society. The scene opens dramatically in the bustling auction room. The air is thick with anticipation, as the auctioneer, with a flourish of her hand, unveils the starting bid for the Heavenly Ascension Order. A masterful blend of excitement and suspense fills the room as the bid starts at an astronomical 100 million gold coins. Shockwaves ripple through the audience as the auctioneer's words sink in. The crowd's reaction is a mix of disbelief and awe. Close-ups of various attendees capture their open-mouthed gasps and wide-eyed stares, with a translator's note humorously adding "Nani" to emphasize the universal astonishment. The intensity of the moment is palpable, with each person grappling with the reality of the staggering bid. As the realization of the monumental bid sets in, the scene shifts focus to the bidder, a confident young noble whose casual demeanor contrasts sharply with the gravity of his bid. His relaxed posture and sly smile convey a mix of arrogance and certainty, as if the bid were a mere trifle to him. This display of nonchalant wealth not only cements his status among the elite, but also intimidates others into reconsideration. The panel closes with the auctioneer slamming the gavel down, her declaration of sold, finalizing the sale amidst a colorful explosion of energy, sealing the fate of the heavenly Ascension order. The phrase, "This fat fish must not be let go," whimsically comments on the bidder's big splash, suggesting both the strategic importance of his purchase and the predatory nature of the auction dynamics. Amidst the turmoil of the auction's aftermath, a trio of disgruntled bidders frowns heavily, their faces marked by frustration. As they huddle together, one of them chastises the auctioneer, urging for the event to conclude with grace and decorum. This plea echoes the tension and high stakes that have characterized the auction, emphasizing the participants' desire for respect and orderliness in the proceedings. The scene swiftly shifts to the auctioneer, a sprightly figure with fox-like ears and flowing pink hair, who addresses a young nobleman. She teasingly inquires about the method of payment, humorously reminding him that the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion does not entertain credit or installment plans. Her playful demeanor contrasts with the serious financial discussions, adding a light-hearted twist to the otherwise intense bidding war. The golden beams of the setting sun flood through the intricate lattice windows of the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion, casting warm hues across the figures within. The graceful auctioneer, dressed in striking red, reassures the young master, whose face is etched with traces of annoyance after the frenetic auction. "Young master, please take your time. Our staff will be waiting outside at all times," she says, her voice as smooth as silk. With a knowing smile, he exhales a breath of relief. Phew, the troublesome person is finally gone. As the young master's relief settles, the action pivots to his hand, adorned with magical rings that begin to resonate and spin. The moment feels electric, charged with the potential of these mystical artifacts. "So what's next?" he muses, his eyes sparkling with intrigue. With a flourish, the young master activates the rings, and they burst into a dazzling array of light and motion. "It's time to stock up on the goods properly," he declares confidently, his voice carrying over the crescendo of magical energy unfurling around him. The panels vibrate with the intensity of the moment, illustrating the raw power at his fingertips as he steps into his role not just as a collector, but a master of the arcane arts. In this dazzling scene, Bai Yifan makes a monumental declaration amidst a swirl of mystical energy. He reveals his extraordinary ability to traverse between two distinct worlds, illustrated by the vibrant, swirling energies that encircle him. His calm demeanor contrasts with the dynamic forces around him, emphasizing his unique mastery over this incredible power. Bai Yifan recounts the fateful moment that altered his destiny. While preparing food, a simple accident, a cut from cooking, sets off a chain of events that are anything but ordinary. His blood drips onto an ancient family ring, triggering a mystical transformation that propels him across continents. The panel captures his shock and pain, underscoring the dramatic change from a routine activity to a life-altering experience, marking the beginning of his journey between worlds. Amid the golden hues of a bustling marketplace, Bai Yifan reveals his extraordinary secret to an awestruck crowd. His voice is calm, but carries an underlying excitement as he confesses, "As you can see, I, Bai Yifan, currently possess the ability to travel across two worlds." The scene is a striking contrast of modern attire against the ancient backdrop, with mystical energies swirling around him, symbolizing the merging of realities. Here, Bai Yifan recounts the origin of his incredible journey, a simple accident in the kitchen. As he chopped vegetables, a mishap led to his blood dripping onto an ancient mystical ring, inherited from his family. The memory is vivid, his expression twisted in pain as he recalls the moment his life changed, marked by the dramatic contrast of his mundane surroundings and the sudden magical alteration of his destiny. The grand finale of an astonishing sequence unfolds with the protagonist, Bai Yifan, exultantly submerged in a sea of gold coins, a vivid representation of his unexpected fortune from selling a magical cabbage. The scene captures the sheer astonishment and joy as coins cascade around him like golden raindrops, highlighting his first colossal monetary gain. The glow of the gold coins casts a radiant light over him, illuminating his overwhelmed expression as he declares this monumental earning to be his first venture into the world of substantial wealth. In a moment of awe and comic relief, Yifan humorously narrates how this staggering wealth came from something as ordinary as a cabbage, now transformed into a coveted treasure. The visuals shift to a dramatic and glittering display of the coins multiplying, focusing on Bai's hand excitedly reaching towards the golden sky, capturing the surreal nature of his new reality. This scene perfectly encapsulates the theme of unexpected fortune in fantastical ways, turning an everyday vegetable into a source of immense prosperity. We transition into the vivid landscapes of the ancient immortal continent, presented with dynamic swirling energies and vibrant colors. The continent is mapped into 5 main regions: Eastern River, Southern Desolate Land, Western Sea, Northern Plains, and the Central Region. Each region is uniquely colored and named, hinting at diverse environments and the adventures they might hold. The focus shifts to specific mythical locations within the southern wasteland. Highlighted are the ancient demon caves, the immortal tomb, and the spirit ruins heavenly cave, depicted with engaging icons and intriguing names. These sites are marked as forbidden places, suggesting danger and the promise of hidden secrets and adventures for those daring enough to explore. In a world torn by conflict, a tenuous peace holds among the 3 dominant races: humans, beasts, and demons. A striking visual showcases these races united yet divided, with a horned warrior, a dark-winged woman, and a fierce beastman, each representing the strife and alliance that has shaped their history over centuries. The path of cultivation is complex and mystic. This file delves deep into the spiritual and physical growth of individuals who traverse the realms of the mystical body and mystical spirit. The tiers of cultivation, from body tempering to heavenly profound realm, dictate the power and status of these warriors, as depicted by the serene yet powerful stance of a cultivator bathed in light, suggesting their profound inner strength and the high stakes of their spiritual journey. An awe-inspiring visual representation of the body, cultivation and spirit cultivation realms unfolds with a powerful martial artist at its center. The path of mastery lights up in vibrant flowing lines, starting from the body-tempering realm and ascending through the bone-forging, inner strength, blood transfusion, marrow cleansing, and enlightenment realms. The journey culminates in the heavenly profound realm, portrayed here as a blazing node of spiritual and physical perfection. This continuation into the spirit cultivation realms highlights a majestic and mystical journey through the spirit energy realm, astral spirit realm, and further into the ethereal domains like the spiritual sea, celestial, and returning unity realms. Each level is a step further into the profound depths of spiritual awakening, represented by brilliant hues and dynamic energy flows that envelop the cultivator. We follow a cultivator's ascent through the higher realms of spiritual development. From the radiant celestial realm to the profound wandering realm, each step is marked by a vibrant node of energy. This journey is more than a path. It's an odyssey of the soul, with each realm offering new wisdom and challenges that shape the cultivator's destiny. The last panel zeroes in on an ancient ring, a relic shrouded in mystery and steeped in deep contemplation. Intriguingly, it reveals that only living entities, whether flora or fauna, can traverse to another continent via this ring, excluding all inanimate objects. This limitation hints at the deep spiritual connections and the selective powers of this ancient artifact, potentially pivotal to the unfolding tale. The constraints extend to weight as well, a strict limit of 200 grams per item. We see a balance scale, a visual metaphor emphasizing the careful consideration needed to choose what to carry on such journeys. This image lays out the challenge faced by adventurers. Every gram counts when the rules are this exacting. Frustration mounts as our protagonist discovers an unfortunate truth about trans-world travel. A once beautiful flower turns to waste upon returning to Earth, its elegance lost, leaving behind only a foul-smelling remnant. "It stinks. How did this flower turn into this disgusting thing?" he exclaims, dismayed by the transformation. This unexpected decay underscores the unpredictable nature of moving between realms, a metaphor for the often unseen consequences of traversing mystical boundaries. Thankfully, the ancient ring isn't all about restrictions, our protagonist muses with a relieved grin. He transitions seamlessly between his real-world attire and his adventure gear in the ancient fantasy world, thanks to the ring's magical ability to change outfits. It's a convenient feature that saves him from much trouble and suitcase space. Now facing the practical challenges of his adventures, he ponders his next move. I need to find a way to bring back more significant items, he contemplates, eyeing the hefty pumpkins that just won't fit the ancient ring's strict criteria. It's a puzzle that adds an extra layer of intrigue to his quests, mixing the excitement of discovery with the strategic planning of logistics. Our hero's expression shifts from casual to stunned in a heartbeat. Huh? He mutters, caught off guard by an unexpected realization or interruption. It's a moment of surprise that brings a palpable tension, hinting at unforeseen complications or revelations in his adventurous life. Quickly recovering his composure, he snaps into action with a confident, "Got it." His eyes, sharp with determination, suggest he's pieced together a crucial puzzle or devised a clever strategy to overcome the hurdles set by the ancient ring's limitations. A day has passed, and we hear from an onlooker. "Miss, that kid has spent an entire day in the room, barely moving." This observation is delivered over a serene view of a traditional building, indicating that our protagonist might be deep in planning or meditation, possibly devising a master plan or wrestling with a significant decision. Speculation grows as another observer adds, "I saw that kid, Bai Yifan, dressed like an ordinary person. He didn't look like a rich man. He wouldn't have taken the opportunity to escape, could he?" This remark hints at Bai Yifan's mysterious demeanor and simple appearance, raising questions about his identity and intentions. Yes, it's too suspicious for someone like him to appear out of nowhere. I have never heard of someone like him in the martial arts world before. This line intensifies the mystery around Bai Yifan, setting the stage for potential confrontations or revelations as others start to doubt his origins and motives. The door creaks open, their entry marked by the soft, ominous squeak of the sliding door, setting a suspenseful tone. This small but significant sound signifies the crossing of a threshold, both literally and metaphorically, into potentially dangerous or revealing circumstances. "Miss Nayland, it's not even New Year yet, so you shouldn't make such a big deal out of it," says the protagonist as Miss Nayland expresses her agitation. The air shimmers with tension, highlighting the gravity of the situation despite his attempts to downplay it. Caught off guard, Miss Nayland can only manage a puzzled, huh?" as she tries to grasp the young master's casual dismissal of what she feels is a significant concern. Her confusion is palpable, mirroring the uncertainty of the moment. Clearing his throat, another character chimes in, Ahem, I wonder if young Master Bai has prepared the gold coins yet?" This question hangs in the air, hinting at deeper layers of expectation and preparation behind the scenes, suggesting upcoming complications or confrontations. The tension builds as Miss Nayland calls her allies into action with a rallying cry, "Come on, brothers!" His determined expression and the readiness in his posture signal a pivotal moment of unity and preparation for what seems like an impending confrontation. The scene suddenly shifts with a burst of energy, causing one of the characters to exclaim in surprise, "Huh?" However, as a dazzling magical energy manifests in the form of a radiant, colorful flower. The intensity of the moment is captured in the bright, explosive illustrations, suggesting a powerful revelation or the unleashing of a hidden power. "I think you guys would be interested in seeing this," Bai Yifan confidently declares, holding the radiant flower between them. His comrades' shocked expressions underscore the significance of what he's revealing, likely a secret weapon or an unexpected ally. This moment of awe visually encapsulates the strategic depth and mystical elements of their journey. The scene illuminates with excitement as a character exclaims about the miraculous dragontail grass. Her eyes wide with astonishment and wonder, she details its legendary healing properties and life-prolonging effects. This prized spirit herb, glowing between her hands, symbolizes hope and rare power, suggesting its pivotal role in the story's unfolding events. The young master listens intently, his expression a mixture of intrigue and skepticism, as he processes the claims of the dragontail grass's value. His stance is relaxed yet attentive, indicating his interest but also his experience with such rare items, as he seems to weigh the truth of her excited declarations. With a calculating gaze, he questions the actual worth of the herb, hinting at more treasures yet to be disclosed. "If it's not enough, then there are these as well," he muses, opening the door to further magical possibilities. This tease about additional treasures not only heightens the stakes, but also enriches the lore surrounding their quest. A beautiful scene where the main character holds a glowing, magical plant. The light from the dragontail grass shines on their face, highlighting their amazement at finding it. This image is really eye-catching and shows how special and important the herb is, hinting at its key part in the story that's developing. Excitement and disbelief color this scene as another character exclaims about the staggering value of the dragontail grass. A single piece of it would be fine, but he actually has a basket full of them? This small basket is worth at least 200 million gold. The shock on his face, paired with the backdrop of traditional architecture, highlights the dramatic economic implications of the find. The scene opens in a rustic setting, where an older man, gripping a walking stick, observes a young man attentively examining a small plant. "There aren't many young men as enthusiastic as you these days," he comments, appreciating the young man's vigor and interest in nature. This exchange underlines a generational bridge being built through shared values of conservation and curiosity. The mood shifts as the young man reveals a playful smirk, holding up the plant. "Heh, this is actually dog-tail grass and shitty tree leaves that I picked up from the neighborhood." His light-hearted confession contrasts with the previous serious tone, introducing a moment of humor and perhaps a test of the old man's knowledge, or a jovial lesson in humility and observation. The narrative takes another turn as a woman, evidently charmed and enthusiastic, proposes a deal to the young man. "Young master, let's talk. How about we at the 10,000 treasure haul purchase all of these spirit herbs from you?" Her excitement is palpable, suggesting she sees great value in his collection, regardless of its true nature, showcasing the allure and potential power such items hold in their world. The tension rises as Yifan negotiates with the cunning merchant. "This fat sheep won't escape me," Bai muses, a grin spreading across his face. He's poised, holding a crucial bargaining chip, the prized dragontail grass, valued at 40 million gold coins. His sharp eyes reveal a strategy brewing beneath his casual exterior, flipping the script on the merchant who underestimates him. The merchant, taken aback by Bai's audacious claim, tries to salvage the deal with a blend of flattery and desperation. "We still have plenty in our stock. Take your pick," he suggests, hoping to entice Bai with the vast treasures of his store. His tone is a mixture of eagerness and anxiety, reflecting his need to close this deal without further losses. Bai's response is firm and cheeky. "Then I won't be polite," signaling his readiness to exploit the situation fully. His confidence is palpable, a stark contrast to the merchant's increasing worry. This moment encapsulates Bai's strategic prowess in the high-stakes game of magical commerce, ensuring he walks away with the upper hand. A sweeping view of the bustling streets outside the auction house captures the lively atmosphere. The intricate architecture of the pavilion looms large, its red and gold hues shining under the midday sun. Amid the cacophony of clinking swords and murmuring crowds, a merchant struggles to stabilize a precarious pile of weapons as they start to. The focus shifts to Bai Yifan striding confidently through the marketplace, laden with oversized bags of loot that swing with every step. His carefree demeanor and smug smile contrast with the astonished expressions of bystanders, who gape at the sheer volume of his haul. The scene exudes playful energy, with Bai reveling in his victory while leaving a trail of disbelief in his wake. As Bai Yifan turns to leave, he delivers a parting shot with a sly grin, addressing Miss Nolan. "Feel free to come back again." His casual wave and teasing tone leave her speechless, her frustration bubbling just below the surface. Her attendants look equally exasperated, but the humor in the moment is undeniable. The vibrant colors and dynamic poses capture the lightheartedness of the scene, as Bai Yifan continues to steal the spotlight with his mischievous charm. A sense of panic strikes as one of the attendants exclaims, "Miss Nalan, he has taken all the treasures from the first floor of 10,000 Treasures Hall." The urgency in his voice contrasts with Miss Nalan's calm demeanor, showing the tension between chaos and composure as they come to grips with the audacity of the situation. Miss Nalan, with a knowing smirk, dismisses the attendant's alarm. "You wouldn't understand," she says coolly. "It's called long-term investment." Her sharp gaze and confident tone highlight her calculated mindset, indicating she has plans beyond the immediate loss. As the scene shifts, an ominous thought lingers in the air. Someone who can take out so many precious treasures but treats them like garbage instead. What kind of person could he be? The perspective zooms out to the elegant halls of the pavilion, the grandeur of the setting amplifying the weight of this question, leaving the characters and audience pondering the true nature of Bai Yifan. The scene opens with Bai Yifan stepping out confidently, his red-gold boots touching the ground with purpose. The sound effect accompanying his stride reflects his calm dominance, signaling he's ready to confront whatever lies ahead. The lush greenery surrounding him contrasts with the sharp aura of his presence, making the atmosphere tense. Bai Yifan's sharp gaze, accentuated by his fiery orange eyes, cuts through the serene backdrop. His expression is stoic yet inquisitive, and the small question mark in his speech bubble hints at his awareness of being watched, or perhaps the anticipation of an approaching threat. The bright blue sky behind him adds a deceptive calm to the building tension. The tension explodes as an old, muscular man towers over Bai Yifan, brandishing a massive sword. "Little brat," the man snarls, his voice dripping with malice. "Hand over the technique and the heavenly Ascension order, and this old master shall let you live today." The man's arrogance is palpable as his lackeys flank him, their hulking figures casting shadows over Bai Yifan. Yet, amidst the threats, Bai Yifan's composed demeanor shines through, hinting at his readiness to face this overwhelming force head-on. The scene shifts to an intense confrontation. Bai Yifan, exuding an air of confidence, stands his ground as the focus drops to his adversary's advancing feet. Their aggressive postures contrast sharply with his unwavering calmness. Bai's taunt cuts through the tension. "You think you can capture me with all this trash? Maybe in a few hundred years." His playful mockery adds a touch of humor to the growing hostility, showcasing his unshaken self-assurance. Bai Yifan's smirk sharpens into a grin, his confidence bordering on arrogance. He raises his hand, making an unmistakably provocative gesture, his expression screaming defiance and mischief. His golden eyes glow with a dangerous edge, hinting at his readiness to take on any challenge. This bold act further provokes his adversaries, pushing the tension to its breaking point. The aggression peaks as one of the burly opponents lunges forward, his blade glinting under the harsh light, aimed directly at Bai. The attacker's glowing red eyes and fierce expression radiate raw intent to kill, and the panel is filled with motion lines that highlight the sheer speed and force behind his strike. His shout, "Go to hell!" echoes like a battle cry, signaling the inevitable clash between brute strength and Bai Yifan's calculated confidence. The panel zooms in on Bai Yifan's weapons strapped securely to his back, glinting ominously as he prepares for action. The tension thickens in the air, and his expression conveys calm confidence. He's clearly in control of the situation, even as chaos brews around him. With a determined yell, Bai Yifan activates his escape technique, his voice sharp and commanding. "Earth escape, let's go!" The background blurs with streaks of bright energy, indicating his swift movement, while his words resonate with the power of his resolve to outsmart his opponents. The scene bursts into chaos as Bai Yifan's unexpected maneuver sends his attacker flying through the air. The bandit's face contorts in shock as he loses his grip, tumbling away from Bai Yifan's position. The momentum of the moment is palpable, as the forest's serene backdrop contrasts with the chaotic motion of the fight. The scene bursts with raw intensity as the ground cracks under a forceful impact. A masked attacker, eyes wide with disbelief, reacts to the unexpected shock. The vibrant lines of motion and the exaggerated focus on his expression amplify the chaos and surprise of the moment. His tense posture and the surrounding debris suggest the tide of the battle is shifting, catching him off guard. The perspective shifts dramatically, zooming in on the attacker's bewildered face, with question marks hovering above, capturing his confusion and panic. Meanwhile, Bai Yifan, cloaked in flames of golden energy, stands calmly on what appears to be Earth's modern setting. A smug determination radiates from him as he internally muses about his escape, grateful for his ring's ability to let him flee danger. "Luckily, I hadn't used up my daily travel," he notes, his thoughts conveying a mix of relief and sharp observation about the cutthroat nature of his adversaries. The golden glow of Yifan's aura intensifies as his fiery energy engulfs him. His stance is casual but alert, a stark contrast to the mystical backdrop of the previous world. The text highlights the limitation of his ancient ring, reminding readers that it allows only a single journey per day. This detail underscores the stakes of his strategic retreat, setting the stage for what he might face next. Bai Yifan sits deep in thought, a reflective expression on his face as he clutches the book titled Mountain Moving Techniques. The golden glow of light reflecting off the textured pages creates an ethereal atmosphere, emphasizing the mystical nature of the book in his hands. His internal monologue reveals a pang of self-reproach. I still lack foresight, not even considering wearing a mask during such a high-profile deal at the auction. His determined gaze sharpens as he realizes the repercussions of his actions, understanding the potential dangers looming ahead. The scene transitions to the glow intensifying as Yifan examines another ancient text labeled Imperial Heart Sutra. Enigmatic golden characters swirl off the page, creating an almost hypnotic aura that surrounds him. It's not that I didn't want to cultivate before, he admits with a furrowed brow, but these techniques from the ancient continent are ridiculously complicated. There's no way for me to even begin comprehending them. The sheer frustration etched on his face contrasts with the glowing brilliance of the text, symbolizing the immense knowledge contained within, yet just out of his reach. Zooming in on Yifan's steady hands holding the book, the focus shifts to the fine, intricate details of the text. Despite the overwhelming complexity, there's a subtle undertone of hope and curiosity as he flips through the ancient manual, examining its weathered yet powerful inscriptions. This panel captures a moment of transition, Yifan beginning to understand the journey he must undertake, where intellect and perseverance will be his greatest allies. The protagonist's curiosity spikes as his gaze locks onto the pages of a martial arts manual. His intense crimson eyes reflect both confusion and realization, as he mutters, hold on. This is... The close-up on his sharp features highlights his heightened focus, marking the moment he uncovers something extraordinary hidden within the text. As the manual opens fully, the protagonist discovers simplified illustrations of martial arts techniques. The pages are filled with figures demonstrating elegant yet basic postures, radiating an almost mystical clarity. His exclamation captures his surprise. The martial arts technique has unexpectedly become really simple. This moment underscores a pivotal breakthrough in his understanding. With newfound clarity, the protagonist pieces the puzzle together. His fiery gaze sharpens with determination as he concludes, I see. It seems that if you bring back the martial arts from that other world to Earth, it will be very easy to learn them. The panel captures his realization that Earth holds the key to mastering the ancient techniques, setting the stage for a new strategy in his journey. The protagonist stands confidently, his fiery golden red eyes gleaming with a resolute determination. The stark white background emphasizes the intensity of his aura, making him look larger than life. His hand casually rests on his neck, hinting at his relaxed yet assertive demeanor. The text in the panel reveals his ambition. The Supreme Martial Arts Master, a declaration that echoes his unwavering confidence and hunger for greatness. He's dressed in his modern outfit, clutching a martial arts manual close to his chest. The light surrounding him gives a divine aura, almost as if fate is illuminating his path. The focus zooms in on the protagonist's smirk, a blend of ambition and self-assurance. His lips curl upward, hinting at his confidence in his plans. He holds the ancient martial arts manual firmly, its cover glowing faintly as if acknowledging his potential to unlock its secrets. The panel frames his chest and hands, capturing his strong grip on his goal and his resolve to see it through. The glow adds an ethereal touch, symbolizing the immense power and knowledge held within the book. The page transitions into an ominous all-black background with bold, white text descending vertically down the frame. It mirrors the protagonist's inner voice, screaming his resolve with absolute clarity. I will definitely become one. The words carry the weight of his ambition, breaking the silence of the dark void. It's a dramatic culmination, reflecting his fierce determination to rise to the pinnacle and become the supreme martial arts master, no matter the odds. The serene sky is calm, with soft clouds drifting lazily. The light shining down has a radiant, magical quality, creating a sense of peace and anticipation. The panel sets the tone for time passing, implying that something significant has been brewing. The forest floor is lush with greenery, soft grasses growing around a large, weathered rock. Shadows of leaves dance across the stone's surface, suggesting a peaceful setting. The calm is broken by a swift motion. An orange blur streaks through, carrying a sense of speed and intensity. A close-up of a clenched fist moving at incredible speed. Golden energy swirls around it, leaving trails of power and light. The air distorts from the force of the punch, amplifying the explosive momentum. The punch lands with devastating effect, shattering the boulder into a chaotic explosion of debris and dust. Vibrant orange and red energy erupts from the impact, the sound effect written in bold strokes to emphasize the overwhelming force. In this explosive panel, Yifan unleashes an awe-inspiring technique, his punch sending shockwaves rippling through the air. The golden energy swirls like a violent storm around his powerful frame, obliterating the rocks into fragments that scatter in every direction. The sheer intensity of the attack highlights Yishuan's incredible growth and mastery of his training, marking a pivotal moment in his journey. Breathing heavily, Yifan surveys the aftermath of his power, surrounded by the shattered remains of the boulders he destroyed. His chest rises and falls as sweat glistens on his muscular frame, a testament to the rigorous training he endured. "Yes, I've succeeded," Yishuan declares with a mix of pride and relief. Reflecting on his progress, he notes the effects of cultivating the mountain-moving technique while nourishing his body with the resources of this ancient world. His strength now rivals that of a body-tempering martial artist, a feat he never imagined possible when he first arrived. Standing tall amidst the serene backdrop of the ancient world, Yifan gazes into the distance, determination burning in his fiery eyes. His thoughts are resolute as he acknowledges his progress. This level can be considered as the first step into the world of the martial artist. His toned physique, the result of relentless training, glows with newfound strength and purpose. The tranquil environment contrasts beautifully with his boundless ambition, foreshadowing the trials that await him as he steps further into the martial world. The protagonist stands contemplatively, aware of the trouble he brought upon himself by revealing his face too soon during the auction. His realization pushes him to double down on his cultivation and efforts. Suddenly, a desperate cry for help breaks the tranquility. He looks up, startled, his sharp red eyes filled with curiosity and concern. The scene shifts to a group of villagers, surrounded by vicious wolves. Armed with makeshift weapons, they hold their ground in desperation, shielding the women and children. The tension is palpable as one of the villagers yells, "Get lost! Get out of our way!" The wolves, relentless and feral, close in, leaving the villagers on the brink of collapse. The wolves step forward with their predatory gaze, their dark fur bristling against the sunlight. The tension thickens as the pack surrounds the humans, each movement calculated and menacing. Their snarls echo, amplifying the villagers' fear. Hidden behind the tree, our protagonist, still shirtless and with his body radiating strength, observes the unfolding chaos. His sharp eyes scan the pack of wolves and the terrified villagers. There's a mix of concern and a spark of determination in his gaze. He knows he must intervene, but not rashly. The pack leader reveals itself, a massive wolf with fur as dark as the night and glowing red eyes filled with malicious intent. Its snarl reveals sharp fangs dripping with saliva. The air becomes charged as it lets out a bone-chilling howl, declaring dominance and signaling its attack. A young girl tumbles to the ground with a scream, flowers spilling from her basket as fear overtakes her. The wolf is closing in fast, its shadow looming over her. Just then, a flash of energy slices through the air, a sign that help might be just in time. A thunderous punch lands squarely on the wolf's jaw, the impact so powerful it sends shockwaves through the scene. The sheer force stops the beast in its tracks, its menacing momentum shattered in an instant. It's clear someone has stepped in to protect the girl, someone strong enough to take on this savage creature head-on. With precision and power, the protagonist lands a devastating blow to the wolf. The collision sends shockwaves through the air, marking a decisive moment in the battle. Meanwhile, a young girl, safe behind him, looks on with awe and relief, realizing the strength of her protector. The aftermath of the confrontation shows the protagonist's unwavering focus and readiness to continue defending those in need. His presence dominates the scene, exuding both confidence and a sense of responsibility in this intense moment. The villagers are tense and alert, holding their weapons tightly as they face the approaching danger. Wei, the young man with brown hair, glances over his shoulder, his expression filled with uncertainty. Old Zhang and brother Jian stand beside him, their grips firm on their tools, trying to maintain composure. A question mark floats above them, mirroring the collective confusion about what's about to happen. The air turns colder as a group of wolves emerges from the forest, their crimson eyes glowing with a feral intensity. The largest of them lets out a bone-chilling "Awoo!" a sound that reverberates through the clearing, making the villagers tighten their stance even more. Fear begins to creep into their faces as the wolves inch closer, teeth bared and ready to attack. The scene explodes with fiery intensity as Li Feng launches his attack. A thunderous bang shakes the ground, the force of his strike sending the wolves flying in all directions. The sheer power of his move leaves the forest trembling, a golden shockwave illuminating the battlefield. The villagers watch in awe, their fear replaced by amazement at Li Feng's overwhelming strength. The wolves, beaten and demoralized, retreat into the forest with their tails low. Their howls echo faintly as they vanish, marking the end of their ambush. In the foreground, the villagers, still tense, stare in disbelief. Their expressions begin to shift, awe and gratitude replacing fear. Lin Yan wipes the sweat from his brow, his breathing steadying after his intense battle. He turns to face the villagers, his aura calm yet powerful. His commanding presence reassures them. "It's all settled," he says, his tone casual but with a hint of pride. The elderly villager steps forward, his hands trembling. "Young hero, that was incredible," he exclaims, his voice filled with admiration. The other villagers nod enthusiastically, their faces lighting up with relief and newfound respect for Lin Yan. The scene transitions to a serene setting. A humble wooden cabin sits nestled deep in the woods, surrounded by lush greenery. Sunlight filters through the dense canopy above, casting dappled patterns of light and shadow on the ground. The gentle rustling of leaves fills the air, accompanied by the soothing calls of birds in the distance. The tranquility of this hidden retreat contrasts sharply with the chaos of the battle moments ago. It feels like a safe haven, a place where Lin Yan can regroup and continue his training. Lin Yan, now dressed in his training robe, channels his energy into a powerful strike. His movements are fluid yet forceful, his focus unwavering. The blade in his hand whistles through the air as he swings it with precision. With a deafening crack, his sword connects with the thick trunk of a tree. The impact sends a shockwave through the surrounding forest, the tree splintering under the sheer force of his attack. Leaves and bark scatter like confetti, the tree leaning dangerously to one side. Lin Yan's expression remains intense, his fiery determination evident in his every move. This is no ordinary training session. It's a relentless pursuit of mastery and strength, a testament to his unyielding spirit. Yifan, clad in his bold red robes and golden accents, clenches his fist after splitting a massive log cleanly in two. The impact reverberates through the air, scattering wood fragments. His determined expression reflects his inner strength, as his stance exudes confidence and purpose. The lush forest is bathed in sunlight, creating a serene atmosphere. The villagers busily work, moving chopped logs and preparing the area for further clearing. Yifan stands at the center of it all, his aura of authority unmistakable. The sound effect kaboom highlights the sheer power of his earlier strike, leaving everyone in awe. Ruoruo stands before Yifan, her eyes sparkling with admiration. She holds a cup in her hands, her youthful excitement clear in her wide grin as she exclaims, "Big brother Yifan, you're really awesome." Yifan, slightly taken aback, looks toward her, his expression softening in the presence of her innocent praise. The bond between the two feels warm and genuine, emphasizing their familial connection. The scene opens with villagers working hard, pulling heavy logs together as they shout encouragement to each other. Hai shu, pull harder." The logs lie in piles, ready for construction. In the foreground, Ruoruo and Yifan stand side by side, watching the labor. Ruoruo, in her soft and innocent tone, comments, "Thanks to all this wood, we are all set for the new houses to be built in our Mu family village." The atmosphere is filled with hope and a sense of accomplishment after the earlier chaos. A close-up of Yifan as he holds a cup and gently takes a sip. His expression is calm and composed, radiating an air of humility. He softly replies, "It's okay. It's nothing much," brushing off the immense gratitude being directed at him. His slight smile shows his modesty despite his earlier heroics. Mu Tai, the son of the Mu family village chief, steps forward, His imposing yet kind figure dominates the frame as he introduces himself with a warm expression. "Little brother, my name is Mu Tai. I'm the son of the chief of Mu family village," he begins. Beside him stands Ruoruo, beaming with joy as she clings to her father. "Thanks for saving my daughter Ruoruo and the people of our village today. We owe you a debt of gratitude." Mu Tai's words carry a tone of deep sincerity, emphasizing the village's immense appreciation for Yifan's bravery. The elder villager, a mix of concern and gratitude in his voice, advises, "Although you are highly skilled in martial arts, this mountain is still too dangerous. Why don't you come back with us to the Mu family village? It's a lot safer there." Reflecting on the events, the narration continues. "After I happened to kill the pack of wolves that day, I was warmly invited by the villagers I had never met before. Another villager, with a warm and welcoming smile, agrees, 'Brother is right. Since you don't have a place to stay, why don't you just go to our Mu family village and be our guest? You can stay with us for as long as you want.' Yifan, with a slight smile, responds politely, 'Then I'll respectfully accept your invitation.'" The panel shifts into an introspective monologue, the background fading to black. Yifan reflects, "It just so happens that I was also in need of a secluded place to cultivate the mountain-moving technique, so I simply agreed." The protagonist reflects on their recent achievements, noting they've ascended from the body-tempering realm to the peak of the bone-forging realm. However, a realization dawns. Their progress has slowed significantly, hinting at an impending bottleneck in their cultivation. A visual explanation of the internal strength realm is presented, highlighting its focus on cultivating the 5 internal organs to an extraordinary level. The text emphasizes how strengthening these organs can lead to extraordinary feats, such as digesting stones. The protagonist contemplates using demonic beast organs, as prescribed by the mountain-moving technique, to break through the bottleneck. The scene shows villagers loading a cart with goods while one of them calls out to Ruoruo, informing her that they are ready to head to the market. In the foreground, Yifan and Ruoruo stand, watching the preparation. A close-up interaction between Yifan and another villager who invites him to join them on their trip to the market. Ruoruo stands smiling beside Yifan. A close-up of Yifan's surprised expression as he questions, "The market?" conveying his curiosity or intrigue about the concept. A bright scene of Luyun's city bustling with activity. Merchants call out loudly to potential customers, advertising their unique goods. The vivid speech bubbles highlight their offers. "Wolf skin, a high-quality wolf skin, take a look." And "wild boar tusks, thick and long. Perfect to protect your home from evil spirits." The glowing sunlight bathes the marketplace, emphasizing the lively and dynamic atmosphere. An aerial perspective shows a crowded street in the market. The narrow pathways are lined with wooden stalls, and townsfolk are engaged in trade and chatter. One vendor's voice rises above the others, advertising fresh blood-stopping grass. Don't miss it. The scene captures the lively hustle and flow of this vibrant city. In a more intimate setting, a villager hands over a beast hide to another, saying, "Take this, here's your beast hide." The background remains detailed, with market stalls creating a cozy yet busy atmosphere. Yifan and Mu Ruoruo stand nearby, observing with smiles, blending into the warm, bustling environment. The conversation continues with a sense of accomplishment. A burly merchant pats another on the shoulder, saying, "Thanks to Brother Bai, we sold off all the good wolf skins." Yifan smiles confidently, exuding an air of pride and ease, his expression lit by the soft glow of the afternoon sun. The camaraderie in this panel is palpable. In this cheerful moment, Mu Yan warmly thanks Yifan, who replies graciously, "Uncle Mu Yan, you're welcome." The warm glow of the market stall surrounds them, giving a cozy and heartfelt vibe. Ruoruo eagerly tugs at Yifan's attention, her eyes sparkling with excitement as she exclaims, "Now that everything has been sold out, Brother Yifan, why don't you take me out somewhere? I want to buy some candied gourds over there." Her innocent enthusiasm brings a touch of youthful energy. Ruoruo's small hands cling to Yifan's arm as she continues her plea with an adorable determination. "Once Uncle Mu Yan finishes packing up, let's go together." Yifan chuckles softly, amused by her persistence. The scene shifts briefly to Uncle Mu Yan, who reassures them with a smile, saying, "You guys go ahead, be careful and come back soon." The bright and sunny day complements the light-hearted exchange, emphasizing the bond of trust and camaraderie. Ruoruo beams with delight, pulling Yifan forward, exclaiming, "I got it! Brother Yifan, let's go!" Her joy radiates through the panel, creating a moment of pure bliss. Meanwhile, Yifan's playful side emerges as he sarcastically questions Mutai. "Brother Mutai, how can you be so relaxed about leaving your daughter in the hands of a man you have only known for a few days?" The panel shifts to a soft and reflective tone as Ruoruo expresses her admiration, saying, "Brother Yifan is so kind to Ruoruo." The background fades to a serene blue sky, allowing the moment to emphasize her heartfelt words. Yifan stands in the foreground, his calm demeanor matching the warmth of her statement, with the scene subtly highlighting their growing bond. This panel features Ruoruo, holding a vibrant skewer of candied gourds, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Yifan, standing beside her, gently advises, "Let's go back quickly, or else your father will get worried." The bustling market continues in the background, with townsfolk going about their day, adding to the lively yet cozy atmosphere of the moment. The mood shifts to unease as Ruoruo notices something in the distance. Her gaze fixes on a crowd, and a voice is overheard pleading, "Please don't fight! Please be magnanimous and forgive us." Her expression turns concerned as she realizes, hold on. That is the direction where Dad was heading. The panel captures her worry, with the shadowy figures of the crowd framing the moment, hinting at tension brewing in the lively marketplace. A tense moment unfolds as Yifan steps forward with an assertive stance, commanding, "Move aside!" His expression is resolute, with his eyes reflecting determination as he shields Ruoruo from the gathering crowd. Around him, villagers look on with a mix of concern and confusion, their faces a blur of emotions. The sunlight contrasts sharply with the growing tension in the air. The focus shifts to Ruoruo, her large, teary eyes capturing a mix of fear and disbelief. The panel dramatizes her emotions with vertical streaks of light, emphasizing the gravity of the situation. Her trembling lips and wide gaze draw the reader into her vulnerable state as she witnesses the chaos unfolding around her. The scene escalates dramatically as a group of enforcers dressed in striking red uniforms close in on the scene. Their synchronized movements and stern expressions show their authority as they confront the villagers. One of them disdainfully exclaims, "How unsightly!" The brutality of their actions is evident as two villagers are beaten to the ground amidst loud bang sound effects, heightening the urgency of the moment. In a dramatic turn, the panel focuses on Ruoruo's perspective, as she sees her father and uncle being overwhelmed by assailants. The text bubble shouts, "Dad, Uncle?" while the background blurs, emphasizing her alarm and fear. The tension is palpable, with scattered details of clashing bodies and chaos. A heart-wrenching close-up of Ruoruo shows tears streaming down her determined face as she screams, "Stop it! Why are you beating my dad?" Her young yet courageous voice stands out amidst the violence. The attackers' expressions are blurred in the background, adding to the intensity. The panel captures the moment Ruoruo rushes forward in desperation, accidentally dropping her candied gourd on the ground. Her small frame contrasts with the overwhelming scene of aggression, creating a powerful visual of innocence caught amidst brutality. The fallen candy stick subtly symbolizes the loss of peace and joy in this moment. A sudden shift in mood. Yifan, his expression cold and resolute, makes a dramatic entrance. The background is shrouded in an ominous crimson glow, highlighting his power and determination. His hand clenches, and the sound effect, crack, bursts onto the panel, signaling his intervention. His sharp gaze and unyielding stance make it clear that the tide of the confrontation is about to turn. The scene captures an emotional moment as Ruoruo, with tears streaming down her cheeks, looks upward with a mix of awe and relief. Her small frame leans against Yifan's protective stance, and the lighting accentuates the raw emotion of the moment. The red tones surrounding the characters convey both tension and resolve, highlighting Yifan's calm yet formidable aura. In an explosive retaliation, Yifan sends a powerful strike toward the attacker. The motion lines and the agonized expression of the man being struck emphasize the force of Yifan's move. The bright background contrasts sharply with the man's anguished cry, "Ah, my leg!" capturing the sheer dominance of Yifan's intervention. Yifan delivers a sharp rebuke, his tone cutting like a blade. A man who is at the advanced stage of body tempering is striking so ruthlessly at a 13-year-old girl who has no strength at all. "Are you even a human being?" His words pierce the silence, matched by his piercing gaze and upright stance. Ruoruo's small silhouette and the vibrant marketplace backdrop emphasize her vulnerability and his role as her unyielding protector. The tension escalates as the scene focuses on Ruoruo clinging to Yifan's side, tears streaming down her face. Her wide eyes reveal both fear and trust in Yifan. The panel emphasizes the warmth and protection he exudes, while the dialogue from the red-uniformed official challenges Yifan's audacity. "You dare to come here and teach me a lesson?" The atmosphere grows heavy with the looming confrontation. Yifan stands tall and resolute, his crimson and gold robes gleaming in the sunlight. His commanding presence silences the crowd as the official, now humiliated, lies sprawled on the ground, a look of shock and anger on his face. Ruoruo holds on to Yifan, her expression a mix of admiration and concern, as the bystanders whisper and watch the escalating conflict. The dramatic escalation takes a violent turn as the official, now enraged, yells, "Beat him up for me!" His command ignites a flurry of motion as the red-uniformed guards close in, weapons raised. Yifan remains calm, yet unyielding, standing protectively in front of Ruoruo. The dynamic lines and blurred movement emphasize the intensity and chaos of the impending fight. A dynamic and high-tension scene where Yifan charges forward with unmatched speed, his crimson cloak flowing like fire. The guard in red uniform yells, "Yes!" with an expression of mock confidence, his perspective showing an attempt to counter Yifan. The motion blur surrounding the characters intensifies the drama, building up for a fierce clash. The impact is ferocious. Yifan's punch connects squarely with the guard's face, sending shockwaves of energy rippling outward. The vibrant explosion of light highlights the sheer strength behind the attack. The guard's eyes widen in utter disbelief, his body twisting from the sheer force. The guard is flung backward with such force that his body spirals uncontrollably in the air. Trails of orange and white energy streak across the panel, emphasizing the power of Yifan's attack. The surrounding guards brace themselves, their expressions a mix of shock and fear. The background blurs into streaks of motion, leaving the focus on the overwhelming chaos unleashed by Yifan. The assailant, now sprawled helplessly on the ground, cries out in agony. His expression contorts in a mix of disbelief and pain as Yifan stands tall, his foot firmly planted on the attacker's chest. The fallen man's red attire, once a symbol of authority, now adds to his humiliated state. Standing against the backdrop of a clear blue sky, Yifan's commanding presence steals the scene. His flowing hair, caught in the breeze, mirrors his unshaken confidence. With an icy glare and calm demeanor, he delivers his cutting words. "So should I teach you a lesson now?" The blend of authority in his voice and the serene setting behind him emphasizes that he's not just a fighter. He's someone to be reckoned with. The atmosphere shifts as the defeated official lies on the ground, fear etched across his face. Yifan towers over him, his foot firmly pressing down on the man's chest. The man pleads desperately, "I don't dare! I don't dare! Lord, please spare my life!" The lighting highlights Yifan's imposing figure, casting a shadow of dominance over his trembling adversary. A new figure emerges, breaking the tension. A bald, burly warrior clad in golden armor steps into the scene, carrying an enormous sword on his shoulder. His fierce gaze lands on Yifan, assessing him with both curiosity and respect. The sunlight streaming through the windows highlights the intricate design of his armor, adding to his intimidating presence. A close-up of the warrior reveals his rugged features and battle-hardened demeanor. His fiery red beard and piercing eyes exude strength and authority. He marvels aloud. To reach the bone-forging realm at such a young age? The panel captures his mixture of awe and suspicion, setting the stage for a potential confrontation. Yifan grips the red-uniformed man's collar tightly, his fiery gaze piercing through the man's fearful expression. The tension is palpable as Yifan demands, "Beat these people on the street? Answer me properly. Otherwise, my next punch will land on your head." The bustling background of the marketplace is slightly blurred, drawing all focus to the heated confrontation and Yifan's dominating stance. A concerned figure intervenes by gently placing a hand on his shoulder. His expression is laced with worry as he pleads, "Little brother, please stop. They are people from the city lord's mansion. We can't afford to mess with them." The contrast between Yifan's resolute demeanor and his brother's apprehensive face highlights the complexity of the situation. A close-up of Yifan's intense eyes, which burn with unyielding determination. His crimson gaze reflects his rising anger and deep curiosity as he asks, "Uncle Tai, what exactly is going on here?" The panel's framing draws the reader into Yifan's perspective, emphasizing the seriousness of his inquiry. The lighting further accentuates the sharpness of his expression. The panel captures a heartfelt moment as Ruoruo kneels beside Uncle Tai, her face filled with genuine concern. Her small hand lightly touches his arm, while her wide eyes reflect both worry and innocence. Uncle Tai, visibly in pain, sits on the ground, clutching his injured leg. The warm tones of the setting sun add a gentle glow to the scene, emphasizing the bond between the two characters. The dialogue, "Uncle Tai, is your leg all right?" showcases Ruoruo's tender care amidst the chaos. Zhou Heng, the towering and imposing chief of the City Lord's mansion guards, dominates the panel with his broad shoulders and massive sword casually resting on his shoulder. His confident smirk and fiery red beard exude arrogance and menace. The bright blue sky in the background contrasts sharply with his menacing aura. His words, "Tusk, tusk, let me answer you," add to the tension, as his introduction box establishes his authority and importance in the unfolding conflict. The scene shifts to Zhou Heng's scornful monologue as he berates Uncle Tai. The angle highlights the disparity in power, with Zhou Heng standing tall while Ruoruo looks on in anger. His dismissive words, calling Uncle Tai a blind dog, emphasize his cruelty and arrogance. The tension in the atmosphere heightens as Mu Li, a young man brimming with frustration, stands and points aggressively. His voice is filled with anger as he shouts in defiance, clearly unwilling to back down. Meanwhile, Ruoruo clings tightly to Uncle Tai, her wide, teary eyes reflecting fear and confusion. The contrast between Mu Li's fiery stance and Ruoruo's innocent vulnerability captures the emotional stakes of the moment. A gripping moment unfolds as Uncle Tai places a firm hand on Mu Li's shoulder, a silent yet strong gesture urging restraint. The setting sun bathes the scene in warm hues, accentuating Uncle Tai's solemn expression as he firmly addresses Mu Li, saying, "This matter, it's our fault." The weight of responsibility hangs in the air, underscored by the earthy tones of the surrounding cobblestones. A dramatic thud reverberates as Uncle Tai drops to his knees, bowing deeply in apology. The force of his action cracks the ground beneath him, symbolizing his earnestness and humility. His words of remorse, paired with the plea to the young lady for forgiveness, add a layer of gravitas to the scene. The background fades slightly, drawing focus to the emotional gravity of Uncle Tai's gesture. The tension in the marketplace continues to escalate as Yifan surveys the scene with a composed yet sharp gaze. In the foreground, the guards bow in submission, their postures signaling surrender. Ruoruo clings to Uncle Tai's side, her worried expression showcasing her concern. A close-up shot emphasizes Yifan's piercing red eyes, glowing with intensity and resolve. His expression remains calm yet formidable as he contemplates the situation. The light reflects off his face, creating an air of dominance that leaves onlookers in awe. His internal thoughts narrate, "Is she the eldest young lady of the City Lord's mansion?" The sense of authority emanating from Yifan sets the tone for his next move. A delicate hand emerges from behind an ornate curtain, the scene imbued with mystery and tension. The soft lighting contrasts with the ominous message, "Since you're in the wrong, you should pay for your mistakes." The golden hue of the curtain and the intricacy of the setting suggest the presence of someone influential, ready to intervene in the unfolding conflict. The panel focuses on the commanding presence of Lan Shiner, the eldest young lady of the City Lord's mansion. Her sharp gaze and vibrant purple hair cascade elegantly, highlighted by the sunlight streaming into the room. Her chilling words, "Zhou Heng, go ahead and cut off all of their legs as a warning to others," reverberate through the scene, emphasizing her merciless nature. The contrast between her delicate appearance and ruthless command creates a striking juxtaposition. A close-up reveals Lan Shiner's confident smirk, her poised and refined demeanor, adding a layer of authority to her character. The detailed texture of her attire and jewelry, soft blue and shimmering, radiates wealth and status. The text introduces her formally, "Lan Shiner, eldest young lady of the City Lord's mansion," leaving no doubt about her influential role in this conflict. Zhou Heng stands tall, his enormous figure radiating brute strength as he raises his massive blade under a clear blue sky. "Zhou Heng, do it!" comes the command, cutting through the tense atmosphere. He replies with unwavering loyalty, "As you wish, eldest young lady." The sun glints off his weapon, emphasizing the impending violence. His posture is that of a man fully prepared to carry out a ruthless act, while the vibrant energy of the moment is palpable. The perspective shifts to the chaos outside. Muli and the others stare in disbelief, their expressions a mix of fear and indignation as they process her vicious command. The warm hues of the bustling street clash with the cold intensity of the moment, heightening the tension. Muli shouts in shock, "You! How could the eldest young lady of the city lord's mansion be so vicious?" As the onlookers share his disbelief. The scene underscores the growing hostility and danger. In a surge of raw aggression, Zhou Heng charges forward, his blade slicing through the air with deadly precision. "A group of country bumpkins! You're a filthy sight for our young lady's eyes! Go to hell!" he roars, his fury unrestrained. Motion lines and a fiery red backdrop amplify the chaos of his swing, while his opponent braces for impact. The overwhelming power and disdain in his voice make the moment both terrifying and electrifying. With a sudden and decisive movement, Yifan blocks the devastating strike, countering Zhou Heng's attack with a palm strike that radiates sheer power. The word "bang" erupts on the panel, emphasizing the force of the collision. Energy ripples outward as Zhou Heng's blade halts mid-swing. His previously confident expression shifts to wide-eyed disbelief, his attack effortlessly neutralized. The dynamic composition highlights Yifan's calm dominance in contrast to Zhou Heng's brute force. The panel zooms in on Zhou Heng's face, capturing the exact moment his confidence shatters. His wide, panicked eyes and slack-jawed expression reveal his utter shock at being overpowered so effortlessly. The once commanding warrior is reduced to a stunned observer, his realization of Yifan's strength sinking in. This close-up drives home the dramatic shift in power, leaving the viewer eager for what's next. The panel is filled with intensity as the protagonist, with a determined and fierce expression, releases a powerful strike. Golden energy radiates from his hand as he shouts, "Get lost!" The motion lines and vibrant glow emphasize the sheer force and precision behind the attack, capturing the raw dominance of the moment. The attack lands with devastating impact. Zhou Heng, the burly swordsman, is thrown backward by the overwhelming force. His face is contorted in shock and disbelief as the golden energy radiates around him. The dynamic movement and blur highlight the power disparity, showcasing the protagonist's superior strength. "What?" Zhou Heng exclaims, his disbelief apparent as he stumbles back. The close-up captures his golden armor slightly cracking, symbolizing his shaken confidence. The blurred background enhances the focus on his expression, painting a vivid picture of his internal turmoil. The clash heats up as Zhou Heng, sword in hand, lunges forward with ferocious energy. The protagonist stands his ground, his crimson robes flowing like flames. The ground cracks beneath their movements, illustrating the sheer force and speed of their combat. The vibrant energy trails and the intense expressions of both characters make this panel a breathtaking moment of confrontation. The main character stands protectively in front of the injured man, their fiery red and gold robe flaring with energy. His determined expression is a stark contrast to the injured man's gratitude and awe. Golden streaks of power swirl around him, emphasizing his commanding presence as a defender. A younger girl cries out, "Brother Yi!" with relief and hope. Meanwhile, the villainous purple-haired lady, her eyes glowing with arrogance and disdain, coldly questions the nerve of the hero to challenge her authority. Her delicate yet malicious grin hints at the chaos she's about to unleash. The imposing armored figure charges with a massive blade, roaring, "Go to hell!" His attack is swift, the blade slashing through the air with red streaks. The hero meets this charge head-on, a golden aura lighting up the moment of contact as the two forces clash explosively. The villain's treasure sword shatters into pieces with a single blow from the hero. The shock is evident on the villain's face as his eyes widen in disbelief. Internal monologue reveals his panic. "He actually shattered my treasure sword with a single blow. Damn it, it's too powerful." The hero capitalizes on the opening, delivering a powerful counterattack that sends the villain flying backward. The momentum of the golden punch radiates across the scene, overwhelming the villain's defenses. Zhou Heng's face fills the panel, contorted with anger as he snarls, "Humph, you ignorant country bumpkin." His grip tightens on his golden armor, veins popping with tension. The vibrant red highlights emphasize his heated emotion and the confidence he has in his treasured armor. Zhou Heng boasts about his indestructible armor, a smug grin creeping across his face. "Given to me as a reward by the city lord," he brags, the shimmering glow of his golden chestplate stealing the focus. In contrast, the protagonist calmly replies, "Break it." The surrounding motion lines amplify the rising tension. The protagonist delivers a crushing blow that cracks through the golden armor with a resounding bang. Zhou Heng is thrown backward, his mouth wide open in shock and pain as his confidence is shattered along with his armor. The explosive impact radiates outward, showcasing the hero's overwhelming strength. With a powerful punch, the hero sends their opponent flying through the air. The force of the impact ripples outward, shattering the calm atmosphere. The villain's body twists mid-air, while the hero remains steady, exuding dominance. In the aftermath of the clash, two red-robed allies rush toward the fallen leader, shouting, "Chief, are you all right?" The dramatic lines and angles of the panel emphasize urgency, while the bright light streaming in enhances the tension of the moment. With a roar, Zhou Heng launches into a berserk attack. His lion fist explodes forward in fiery bursts of power. Each strike lands with a loud snap, but the protagonist blocks with equal ferocity, his golden energy shining brighter with each clash. The panel's chaotic motion lines and impact effects amplify the intensity of this explosive battle. A close-up of the protagonist's face as he observes his opponent's transformation. His expression shifts to curiosity as he mutters, "What's this?" The panel captures the fiery aura emanating from his opponent, adding tension as the battle escalates. The opponent taunts the protagonist, calling him a brute who lacks martial knowledge. The panel shifts focus to the opponent's face, twisted with arrogance, as he unleashes his advanced blood energy. The vibrant red glow surrounding him emphasizes his newfound strength and deadly intentions. The panel captures the protagonist effortlessly delivering a crushing punch with a glowing golden fist. The opponent's shock is palpable as the attack breaks through his defenses, sending him flying. The bold motion lines and explosive impact highlight the protagonist's dominance. The panel captures a heartfelt moment as Ruoruo clings to Brother Yi, expressing her concern with, "Brother Yi, are you okay?" His reassuring response, "Ruoruo, don't worry, I'm fine," highlights his calm demeanor and protective nature. The vibrant colors and soft lighting add a warm, tender atmosphere to their interaction. A commanding presence fills the frame as Miss Lan, in her flowing purple attire, lashes out, calling someone useless trash. She orders her guards to mobilize the city lord's soldiers and imprison the gathered villagers. The tense expressions of the onlookers underline the brewing conflict, while her disdainful posture emphasizes her domineering personality. The scene shifts to a group of guards commenting on Miss Lan's immense authority. A distant view of a traditional mansion in the background sets the stage for an impending showdown, with the conversation hinting at the stakes and the tension building within the village. A burst of radiant warmth illuminates the scene as the protagonist, cradling Ruoruo, steps forward confidently. Ruoruo's small smile radiates relief and trust, while the protagonist exudes calm assurance. A sharp accusation rings out in the air. The focus is on the bold speech bubble, accusing the Lan family of abusing their authority. The golden interiors of the carriage, blurred and glowing in the background, emphasize the tension of the moment. The tension heightens as the final speech reveals the woman's identity. Lan, the pavilion owner of the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion. The golden hues of the carriage's intricate design frame the bold speech bubble, creating a dramatic conclusion to the scene. The violet-haired woman, her eyes glowing with restrained fury, confronts the enigmatic pavilion owner Lan. Her sharp gaze highlights her intense curiosity and barely contained anger as she demands, "What do you mean by that?" The room is filled with tension, the sunlight filtering in through the wooden windows, casting a warm but uneasy glow. Pavilion owner Lan steps forward confidently. Her distinct appearance, marked by her horned headdress, flowing crimson attire, and captivating smirk, exudes dominance. A servant behind her adjusts her robe, emphasizing her composed authority. This scene oozes elegance and latent power, as if the pavilion owner controls the very air around her. Miss Nalan bows her head slightly in gratitude. But the protagonist, dressed in vibrant red and gold robes, gently assures her, saying, "Miss Nalan, there's no need for you to be so polite." His tone is calm yet commanding, reflecting his composed demeanor. Ruoruo looks up at the protagonist with a mix of curiosity and admiration, asking, "Brother Yifan, do you know each other?" Her expression radiates innocence, while villagers in the background share the same astonished look. Ruoruo murmurs in awe, "I just heard someone say that this beautiful sister is the owner of 10,000 Treasures Pavilion, and they are considered to be the biggest merchant building in Liyun City. How does Brother Yifan know such a powerful person?" The chatter reflects their admiration and disbelief as they marvel at the protagonist's connection with someone of such high status. The next scene features with Miss Nalan, pavilion owner, her serene and composed face framing the speech bubble. Her slightly narrowed green eyes show sharp wit as she eloquently counters. The golden backdrop reflects her commanding presence, reinforcing her as an influential figure in the narrative. A visual cue in the background adds layers to the conflict she's addressing. The tension in the room was palpable. Miss Lan, her face twisted in anger, leaned forward, her piercing eyes ablaze with indignation. She spoke with venom, her words cutting through the air like daggers. "Pavilion owner Nalan, what is the meaning of this?" Her opponent Nalan remained calm, her gaze steady and unyielding. The flicker of amusement in her green eyes betrayed her confidence. She responded with a faint, sly smile, her voice steady. "Are you threatening this young lady?" The power in her words was undeniable, the atmosphere heavy with the clash of their towering presences. Miss Lan clenched her fists, her breath catching in her throat. For all her rage, she felt the weight of the room shifting against her. Her usual dominance was slipping. Nalan leaned in slightly, her lips curling as she delivered her statement with a chilling calm. "I dare not threaten you, but if you wish to take these people away today, you will have to face the might of the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion." The room grew silent, the tension so thick it could be cut with a blade. The guards and onlookers shifted nervously, unsure of how this battle of wills would end. Nalan's words hung in the air, a challenge that Miss Lan could not afford to ignore. The dialogue bubble dominates the frame, conveying the calculated caution of the speaker as they outline the overwhelming influence of the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion. The edge of the panel subtly hints at Miss Lan's presence, with the distinctive flow of her purple hair and garments visible in the corner. The words emphasize the pavilion's foundational strength, creating a tension-filled atmosphere that warns of the dangers of challenging such a powerful institution. The panel zooms in on Miss Lan, highlighting her striking purple hair and piercing violet eyes. Her expression is a blend of confidence and calculated charm, as her smirk deepens while her fingers gracefully touch her lips. The sharp lighting highlights her features, from her flawless skin to the glint in her eyes that hints at her cunning nature. Her poise and elegance dominate the scene, reflecting her ability to stay composed and commanding even in moments of negotiation or confrontation. The scene opens with a commanding bird's-eye view of a bustling street, lined with merchant stalls and bathed in warm sunlight. At the center is an elegant carriage, richly adorned and escorted by rows of guards in crimson uniforms. The orderly procession suggests the importance of the person inside, potentially pavilion owner Nalan, emphasizing her influence and power. The soft greenery framing the scene adds depth while highlighting the carriage's prominence. The joyous reaction of the villagers as relief washes over them. A cheerful man in a tan robe, likely a father figure, protectively holds a young girl. Her wide, innocent smile and sparkling eyes convey her trust and hope, a reflection of the villagers' shared gratitude. Behind them, other villagers, including Ruoruo, beam with happiness and disbelief, one remarking, "Yes, we are saved." This collective display of relief underscores the protective presence of Brother Yifan and pavilion owner Nalan. Pavilion owner Nalan takes center stage in a grand interior. Her flowing crimson and gold attire, along with her horned headdress, enhances her aura of authority and elegance. With a modest yet confident smile, she gestures humbly, saying, "It was just a simple gesture." Standing nearby, Brother Yifan observes her with admiration and respect, his composed demeanor underscoring his connection to the powerful Nalan. The interplay of warm sunlight and the room's wooden beams highlights the harmony between strength and grace in this pivotal moment. Pavilion owner Nalan dominates the foreground, her confident posture paired with a subtle, almost graceful gesture as she speaks to a bowing servant. Her flowing white hair and horned headdress amplify her ethereal yet commanding presence. The warm sunlight filtering through the room casts a glow on her crimson and gold attire, emphasizing her elegance. In the background, the servant humbly bows, symbolizing Nalan's authority and respect within the setting. The inclusion of seated figures in the foreground hints at the subdued awe she commands among onlookers. The scene transitions to Brother Yifan as he observes the ongoing events, his expression serious and thoughtful. In the background, villagers, including Ruoruo, follow the guidance of a servant, who ushers them forward with a polite gesture. The warm light filtering through the large windows bathes the room, softening the tension while emphasizing the sense of resolution and protection. Ruoruo looks up at Brother Yifan, her curiosity and admiration evident, creating a poignant emotional connection between the characters. Ruoruo, her expressive eyes filled with curiosity, gently tugs at Brother Yifan's sleeve. Her question, "Brother Yifan, why did this rich and beautiful sister save us, and what is your relationship with her?" reflects her innocence and directness. The focus on her childlike wonder contrasts with Brother Yifan's hesitant response, as he fumbles to explain, "This one, well, strictly speaking." The framing of this panel emphasizes their interaction, with Ruoruo's small figure leaning forward and Yifan turning slightly, showcasing the dynamic between them. Here are the detailed analyses of the latest panels you've shared. Brother Yifan takes the spotlight with a mildly embarrassed yet composed expression. His sharp eyes narrow as he scratches his chin in contemplation, delivering the unexpected line, "She owes me some money." The lighting highlights his conflicted mix of pride and discomfort, while a small bead of sweat running down his temple adds a touch of humor. This candid moment contrasts with the gravity of earlier scenes, introducing a slice of levity to the narrative. Ruoruo's face fills the frame, her wide eyes sparkling with disbelief and surprise as she processes Brother Yifan's statement. Her small mouth forms a soft "oh," and the sweat drop on her cheek emphasizes her incredulity. The subtle blush and glossy lighting on her face enhance the comedic impact of her reaction, making her astonishment palpable. This close-up draws attention to her innocent curiosity and adds charm to the unfolding dynamic. The humor carries over as the dialogue bubble from Ruoruo's astonished voice rings out, "Huh? She owes you money." The minimal background details shift focus to the comedic timing of the moment. Pavilion owner Nalan sits gracefully, her legs elegantly crossed as she holds a delicate teacup. Her crimson and gold attire is complemented by her relaxed posture and sly, knowing smile. The dialogue highlights her recognition of an exceptional achievement. "There hasn't been anyone who reached the bone-forging realm at such a young age as you." Her expression reflects genuine intrigue and admiration, subtly masking her intent. Across the table, Brother Yifan listens intently, his body slightly angled as he cradles his cup, signaling his composed demeanor amidst her praise. The focus shifts to Brother Yifan as he leans back confidently in his chair, one hand resting casually while the other adjusts his cloak. The composition emphasizes his relaxed authority, a stark contrast to his modest words. The lower part of the panel showcases the intricate detail of his crimson and gold outfit, reflecting his elevated status and strong presence. His dialogue, a tone of appreciation, hints at his gratitude toward Nalan, while acknowledging the stakes involved. Pavilion owner Nalan leans forward, her piercing green eyes gleaming with a mix of curiosity and playful intent. Her question carries a sharp edge. "How come you're hiding in the countryside and hanging out with villagers while casually taking out so many dragontail herbs?" The sharp lighting highlights her sly smile and elegantly styled hair, making her probing gaze all the more disarming. The background detail of warm sunlight filtering through wooden panels subtly contrasts with her bold demeanor. Brother Yifan speaks with calm authority, addressing pavilion owner Nalan directly. "Miss Nalan, I have a word of advice for you." His lowered gaze, coupled with his composed posture, gives the moment a sense of gravitas. The soft, glowing backdrop frames his expression, adding an air of quiet power and subtle mystery to his character. His grip on the teacup reflects both restraint and resolve. The focus shifts to Brother Yifan's reply, his voice carrying a cryptic tone. "What you are supposed to know will naturally be made known to you." The panel composition cuts off part of his face, emphasizing his firm stance and indirect refusal to divulge more. The darkened backdrop contrasts with his golden red robes, heightening the weight of his words and the enigmatic aura he exudes. Brother Yifan's expression becomes resolute, his sharp eyes narrowing slightly as he delivers his final statement. Don't bother to ask about it. His posture stiffens, and the lighting sharpens around his face, underscoring his unwavering confidence. The intensity of his gaze and clipped tone leave little room for argument, effectively closing the topic while asserting his dominance in the conversation. The close-up focuses on Pavilion owner Nalan's lips as she exclaims, "Oh! Speaking of dragontail grass, I just remembered." Her voice reflects a sudden realization, while the panel emphasizes the fine detail of her outfit, particularly the delicate red bow and ribbon at her neckline. The slightly visible bead of sweat on her cheek hints at a mix of nervousness and urgency, adding a subtle layer to her character's reaction. The perspective broadens to reveal Pavilion owner Nalan and brother Yifan in conversation. Nalan, her expression shifting between nervousness and playfulness, reminds Yifan of her debt. "Last time, it seems that you still owed me 100,000 gold, right?" Her wide eyes and slightly awkward smile reflect her discomfort at bringing up the topic. Meanwhile, Yifan, grinning confidently, dismisses the question lightly, replying, "This one, we are still a bit." His nonchalant demeanor contrasts with Nalan's nervous energy, creating a dynamic moment of humor and tension. The dialogue focuses on Pavilion owner Nalan, her posture formal as she suggests, "We have recently acquired a new batch of goods. Does young Master Bai wish to take a look at it?" The framing shows her poised hands and elegant attire, emphasizing her composed demeanor. Her subtle suggestion reflects her charm as a merchant while extending an olive branch to smooth over previous financial tension. Nalan's playful and confident nature shines as she leans over brother Yifan, her smile broad and mischievous. Her proximity to him, coupled with her lively expression, exudes a sense of camaraderie. Brother Yifan, in chibi form, confidently responds, "Of course it's true." His small, relaxed smile and closed eyes add a humorous, light-hearted element to their dynamic, reflecting their unique rapport. The scene shifts to a close-up of brother Yifan's serious, sharp eyes as he recalls an earlier event. His thoughts transition to combat strategy, and the memory of Berserk Lion Fist fills the panel. The intense imagery of the martial arts technique in action, with the chief of guards attacking ferociously, contrasts with the subdued reflection in Yifan's face. The vibrant text and kinetic artwork of the fist technique heighten the tension and foreshadow an upcoming confrontation. Brother Yifan is depicted mid-battle, caught in the fury of the Berserk Lion Fist. His body is thrown back by the sheer force of the blow, his expression a mix of shock and pain. The intense lighting, coupled with the dust and impact lines, creates a sense of chaotic energy and violence. This moment captures the overwhelming might of his opponent, setting the stage for Yifan's resilience and strategy to come into play. The atmosphere transitions back to the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion, where brother Yifan inquires, "Do you have any martial arts techniques?" The visual tone shifts to a more humorous and relaxed mood, with Nalan presenting a bookshelf full of martial arts manuals. The vibrant interior and neatly organized scrolls convey the pavilion's wealth of resources. Yifan's responses, rejecting options like the mountain-piercing finger and the black sand palm, reflect his discerning nature and sharp wit. The chibi-style depiction of Yifan adds a comedic touch to his pragmatic decision-making. The discussion on martial arts continues with Miss Nalan introducing the flower petal hands, described as quick and sharp. Yifan dismisses it as too girly, his casual rejection revealing his preference for martial techniques that reflect power and masculinity. The panel transitions to Miss Nalan unveiling the Shadow Fist, a peak-grade yellow rank technique. The glowing aura surrounding the martial arts manual, coupled with Yifan's intrigued expression, emphasizes the technique's rarity and value. Yifan evaluates the Shadow Fist and deems it satisfactory, remarking, "That's more like it." His calm yet pleased expression conveys his approval of its rank and potential. The scene then transitions to the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion lounge, where the warm ambiance and gathering villagers underline the aftermath of a tense negotiation. The dialogue, hinting at the rigorous training required for the technique, adds a layer of realism to the martial arts progression in the story. The mood shifts to a tender reunion as Ruoruo rushes to embrace brother Yifan, exclaiming her relief. The close-up of their interaction showcases Ruoruo's innocent and concerned expression as she questions why he didn't rest. Yifan's affectionate yet slightly stern response reflects his protective nature and highlights the bond they share. This heartwarming moment provides a brief respite from the ongoing challenges. Yifan and Ruoruo are the central focus here. Yifan's protective posture, as he looks down toward Ruoruo, exudes a brotherly yet composed demeanor. His body language shows care and attentiveness, with his hand resting gently on her shoulder. She looks up at him with a mix of admiration and vulnerability. The upward tilt of her head and the soft blush on her cheeks emphasize her dependency and trust in Yifan. Lan remarks about Yifan and Ruoruo's close relationship hint at an outsider's perspective of their bond. It emphasizes how Yifan is seen as more than just a protector, almost like a sibling figure. His hand reaching into his robes to retrieve something suggests he's about to present or hand over something meaningful to Ruoruo. This builds anticipation and curiosity about his intentions. Young Master Bai is shown extending a red silk garment towards Ruoruo, a radiant smile brightening his face. The outfit sparkles under the light, symbolizing its value and the care taken in choosing it. Ruoruo looks at the garment with sparkling eyes and an expression of awe and gratitude, holding it delicately with both hands. Her joy is palpable, as if this moment strengthens her bond with him. The pink-haired woman nearby continues to observe the scene, her smile conveying approval and contentment. The image captures a warm, heartfelt moment in a well-lit fabric shop. Yifan gestures towards a gorgeous dress displayed on a mannequin, glowing faintly as it catches the sunlight. The dress is vibrant red with intricate golden patterns, reflecting the quality and craftsmanship. Rolls of colorful fabric line the background, adding richness to the setting. Yifan's commanding presence and pointed expression convey his confidence as he instructs the shopkeeper to pack the dress. The scene shifts into a deeply tender moment. Yifan gently places his hand on Ruoruo's head, his expression soft and caring. Ruoruo looks ecstatic, her wide eyes gleaming as she clutches the red dress close to her chest. The glowing fabric and her cheerful expression reflect the happiness of receiving such a meaningful gift. The background fades slightly, focusing all attention on the genuine bond between the two. Yifan, Ruoruo, and Lan standing in a well-lit room as a man leaps forward. The trio's posture reflects attentiveness and readiness, with Yifan standing tall and protective in the center, Ruoruo slightly leaning toward him, and Lan calmly observing. The lighting streaming from above highlights the dramatic tension and emphasizes the action taking place. The dynamic angle, capturing the leaping man mid-air, adds intensity to the scene. The scene transitions to a somber moment. An elderly man sits beside an injured figure lying on a patterned carpet, bandages wrapped around his legs and torso. Yifan, Ruoruo, and Lan stand nearby, each with varying expressions of concern and sympathy. Ruoruo appears especially troubled, her small frame emphasizing her vulnerability in the situation. The muted lighting adds to the somber and reflective mood, highlighting the seriousness of the injuries. Ruoruo's emotional turmoil is at the forefront here. Her wide eyes well up with tears as she stares at her second uncle, her expression a mix of shock and sorrow. Two other men stand behind her, their faces reflecting similar disbelief and concern. The lighting softens around them, drawing focus to Ruoruo's vulnerability and amplifying the weight of her words. Her clutching onto her scarf adds a layer of innocence and helplessness to the moment. The elderly figure's expression carries a mix of wisdom and resignation as he speaks of miraculous cures and legendary figures. The warm light illuminates the group, giving the setting a comforting yet serious tone. Yifan's subtle smirk and composed demeanor stand out as he confidently implies there might be a solution. His poised body language hints at his unspoken plans. Ruoruo's hopeful gaze reflects her trust in Yifan's words, capturing her emotional reliance on him. The misty lighting filters through the wooden beams, creating a serene yet suspenseful environment. The character stretching at the counter brings an air of casualness, contrasting with the weight of the previous dialogue. His relaxed demeanor, shown through his slouch and exaggerated yawn, signifies a momentary pause in the intensity as he prepares to close for the day. The young man's carefree attitude continues as he steps out, stretching his arms wide. The soft blue light enhances the calmness of the evening, with intricate details of the apothecary visible in the background. His casual remark about ending the shift contrasts sharply with the earlier tension, adding a slice-of-life element to the story. The slight smirk and relaxed pose bring a relatable, human moment into the narrative. The focus is on a mysterious figure entering through a sliding door, the scene illuminated by a cool blue light. The hand pressed against the glass gives an eerie, suspenseful vibe. The figure's silhouette hints at their determined and sinister intent, making this panel the onset of tension. A character with wide eyes, clearly shocked by the sudden intrusion. His expression, a mix of surprise and fear, is heightened by the dramatic shading and streaks of light falling over him. The suspense builds as the character reacts to the ominous presence. A close-up of the intruder's face, partially concealed in shadows, reveals a sinister grin and glowing eyes. The exaggerated mocking "he he 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 he" adds to the chilling atmosphere. The deep contrast between light and dark elements in this panel emphasizes the growing danger and the villain's menacing aura. A somber scene unfolds as a group gathers in a dimly lit room, standing around a lifeless body laid on a bed. The muted blue-toned lighting underscores the gravity of the situation. Each character's posture reflects their emotions: grief, confusion, or helplessness. Ruoruo stands slightly apart, her small fists clenched as she processes the tragedy, while Lan observes quietly with a serious demeanor. Ruoruo's concern and anxiety take center stage as she expresses her worry about Yifan's absence. Her hunched posture, nervous hand gesture, and the sharp contrast in the lighting draw attention to her distressed state. The ominous mood is enhanced by the sound effect as a character's footsteps signal an approaching presence. The moment shifts as Yifan re-enters the room. His confident tone is apparent as he announces his return, with the frame focusing on his boots as they touch the ground. The scene builds anticipation as he presents the medicinal herbs he brought back, offering hope to the tense situation. Yifan's determined expression as he addresses the group. The warm glow surrounding the herbs he holds reflects his effort and success, bringing a sense of relief and resolve. His slight smile exudes reassurance, as though his return marks a turning point in the tense and somber atmosphere. The older man's expression is filled with awe and disbelief as he gazes at what he holds in his hands. His wide-open eyes and the lines of shock around them emphasize the impact of the moment. His mouth is slightly agape, adding to his astonishment. The blue blood unicorn flower is introduced, with its intricate design and glowing aura stealing the show. It radiates fiery hues of red and orange, paired with a crystalline shimmer, showcasing its unique and magical properties. Other mystical objects, such as the Yunling Seven Star Leaf, appear. Their intricate crystalline designs and radiant icy tones contrast beautifully with the fiery hues of the unicorn flower. The sparkling effects surrounding them elevate their legendary status. The scene begins with a close-up of Yifan presenting the spirit herbs to the group. The glowing herbs illuminate the frame, casting a radiant light that contrasts with the somber expressions of the onlookers. Yifan's calm confidence is palpable as he reassures them of the herbs' rarity and their potential to cure the ailment. The elder examines the spirit herbs with wide-eyed awe, his hands trembling as he holds them. The bright, golden glow emanating from the herbs reflects their incredible value and rarity. His astonished expression emphasizes the magnitude of this moment, as he exclaims that it's the first time he's seen so many rare herbs together. Shift in tone occurs as Ruoruo notices something off about Yifan. Her voice trembles with concern as she questions the condition of his hand. The frame focuses on Yifan's surprised reaction, his expression a mix of amusement and weariness. The background fades slightly, drawing attention to the growing concern for Yifan's well-being, adding a personal layer to the intense scenario. A sudden shift in Yifan's expression disrupts his usual confidence. His face contorts in an awkward blend of guilt and embarrassment as he struggles to explain his condition. The scene highlights his vulnerability, with the dramatic lighting emphasizing his inner turmoil, leaving the onlookers puzzled and concerned. The tension escalates with the appearance of a mysterious figure entering the scene. His sinister grin and glowing eyes create an ominous aura as he lists off medicinal items with a manic urgency. His unsettling demeanor contrasts sharply with the room's prior tone, casting a shadow of unease over the group as he asserts his sinister presence. The tension lingers as Yifan turns his back to the source of the ominous situation, sweat beads dripping down his face. The stark black shadow looming over his head amplifies his nervousness, while his hesitant words, "Hey, I'm not a," are cut off mid-sentence, leaving the viewers anxious for what's to come. An absurd comedic shift as the focus reveals an automatic door, the unsuspected culprit behind the dramatic moment. The exaggerated proclamation, "The automatic door, ah," captures the sheer hilarity of the situation, breaking the previously tense atmosphere with a sharp twist of irony. Yifan, now fully embarrassed, lets out a sheepish laugh as he facepalms, his flushed face and sweat drop illustrating his utter mortification. The bright, playful lighting highlights the ridiculousness of the scene, delivering a humorous contrast to his earlier confidence. Yifan reflecting on his mistake, with his dialogue revealing how he misjudged his physical abilities after returning to the modern world. The framing focuses on his robes, highlighting his calm demeanor as he admits to still thinking his body was in the bone-forging realm. It's a moment of humility, showcasing Yifan's self-awareness. In a warmly lit kitchen, a young woman dressed in a traditional outfit scolds the protagonist for overexerting himself. Her expression shows both concern and frustration, her body slightly leaned forward as she wields a spoon. The steam rising from the pot nearby adds to the domestic and caring atmosphere, contrasting with the stern tone of her words. The perspective shifts downward, showcasing a seated man confidently brushing off the young woman's concerns. His calm demeanor and light-hearted tone reflect his assurance as he playfully insists his legs are as solid as a rock. The warm lighting and detailed background, featuring a large wooden tub, enhance the cozy and familiar setting. A young woman, with her soft and curious expression, tilts her head as she innocently asks, "By the way, where is your brother Yifan?" The warm golden light in the background highlights her childlike innocence, contrasting with the tension surrounding the current situation. In a sharp, intense moment, the scene cuts to Yifan battling a ferocious serpent. The beast's gaping maw, fangs glistening with venom, strikes fear as it hisses violently. The vibrant reds and yellows emphasize the raw danger of the encounter. Yifan stands strong, his back to the viewer, facing the monstrous serpent. His determined posture and the glint of his armor capture his resolve to conquer the beast, the golden glow of its scales painting a surreal and heroic scene. The scene explodes with action as Yifan, dressed in his iconic red and black armor, strikes with precision and determination. His blade glows with a dark, ominous energy as it clashes against the scaled body of a massive golden serpent. The golden sheen of the serpent's scales reflects the fierce intensity of the battle, creating a visual feast of motion and light. Yifan's figure exudes strength, his stance unwavering as he faces off against the overwhelming power of the snake. The serpent rears its head, its golden scales gleaming against a surreal background. Its piercing amber eyes lock onto its opponent, its forked tongue flicking out with a threatening hiss. The intense focus on the snake's face and the sharp details of its scales amplify the tension of the moment, while the dotted, almost whimsical background contrasts the deadly reality of the scene. A split-second moment of terror as the serpent lunges forward, its gaping maw displaying sharp fangs dripping with malice. The radiant glow from its scales highlights the lethal power of its attack. Yifan's figure is caught in the deadly trajectory of the serpent's strike, the blurred motion lines emphasizing the speed and ferocity of the assault. Yifan stands amidst a battlefield, his calm and collected demeanor contrasting the chaos around him. His sharp profile is illuminated by golden flames dancing along his figure, reflecting his mastery of the shadow fist technique. The flames flicker wildly, but his focused gaze holds steady, radiating confidence. The atmosphere is intense, with the golden hues symbolizing both his power and the destructive energy he wields. The frame zooms in to showcase Yifan's armored fist glowing with immense energy, emphasizing his strength and the raw potential of the shadow fist. The flames spiral around him like a living force, highlighting his position as a warrior at the intermediate stage of the inner strength realm. The surrounding environment seems to tremble under his aura, the vibrant flames dominating the scene as he prepares to strike. In the soft moonlight, Yifan reaches out to drop what appears to be mystical purple fruits into a basket. The fruits glow faintly, hinting at their special properties. The background is serene, with the cold blue of the night emphasizing the mystical aura of the scene. Yifan's calm demeanor as he tends to the fruits conveys his confidence and quiet pride in his accomplishments. Yifan wipes his forehead with a casual smile, his amber eyes reflecting a sense of satisfaction. His posture is relaxed, yet there's a subtle strength in his stance, hinting at the power he holds within. The cool, tranquil blue backdrop of the forest adds a serene contrast to his fiery red robes, making him stand out as the central figure. Yifan's garments are detailed in close-up, showcasing the intricate patterns and symbols that reflect his elevated status and mastery of martial arts. His inner monologue narrates his success in simplifying an ancient martial arts technique, turning it into something anyone could grasp. The calm night adds to the sense of a quiet breakthrough, as he reflects on his personal growth. With a commanding stance, Yifan gazes into the distance, exuding both confidence and power. His hand rests on his hip, gripping the basket of fruits, while his eyes hold a sharp focus. The faint glimmer of moonlight on his robes and the surrounding forest creates an almost otherworldly glow, underscoring his recent breakthroughs. He muses about how others would react to his achievements, his expression both proud and contemplative. Yifan, drenched in sweat and visibly distressed, reflects on a moment he will never forget. His tense expression is contrasted by his attempts to remain composed. The atmosphere is heavy with emotion, highlighted by the subtle glow of sweat dripping from his face, blending with a misty background. Ruoruo, beaming with joy, presents a steaming pot filled with Yifan's favorite delicacies: pig liver, chicken gizzard, and other questionable items. Her radiant smile and cheerful demeanor create a humorous contrast to the food's ominous presentation. The colorful steam rises dramatically, adding to the absurdity of the scene. Yifan's sharp senses are triggered as he detects a hidden presence. His keen gaze scans the surroundings under the moonlit sky. In a burst of action, he swiftly unsheathes his blade, its arc glowing under the moonlight, as he calls out the intruder with commanding authority. The tension in the atmosphere is amplified by the piercing swish of the blade and the scattered leaves swirling in the air. Standing tall in the open, Yifan commands the figure to step out of hiding. His posture exudes confidence and readiness, with the backdrop of a serene yet mysterious forest illuminated by the full moon. The clash of tranquility and his imposing presence sets the stage for the impending confrontation. The scene bursts with motion as a group of masked assassins leaps from the dense shadows of the forest. Their synchronized movements, captured in sharp, angular strokes, make their attack feel inevitable. The sound effect, swish, highlights their deadly precision as they close in, blades gleaming under the dim moonlight. Standing resolute amidst the oncoming threat, Yifan adjusts his posture, his vibrant red robes swirling in response to his sharp movements. The assassins circle him like wolves, their intent unmistakable. One of them sneers, taunting him with a cold warning. "In that case, don't blame us for not leaving your body intact later." Yifan's sharp gaze fixes on his attackers, and his voice cuts through the tension. "Did Miss Lan from the City Lord's mansion send you here?" His question is laced with both suspicion and confidence, but the assassin deflects his inquiry with a cryptic retort. "You don't need to worry about that." A close-up of a ninja assassin with an intense glare. The narrow, sharp eyes reveal a determined and deadly intent. The assassin's sword reflects the moonlight, adding a cold and threatening aura. The speech bubble emphasizes their resolve, as they mention that a high price has been paid for someone's life. The tone is ominous, showcasing the danger about to unfold. The focus shifts to a chaotic battlefield as multiple ninjas converge on Yifan, shouting, "Kill!" with ruthless intent. The dynamic motion lines and the blue night backdrop set the stage for a high-stakes confrontation. Yifan stands his ground in the center, his stance composed but ready to counter the onslaught. A climactic action shot unfolds as Yifan faces off against a ninja in close quarters. The glowing blue light from the swords illuminates the dark surroundings, creating a dramatic contrast. Yifan's confident expression reflects his skill and readiness to overpower his opponent. The motion blur of the swords intensifies the scene, portraying the fast-paced combat with precision and flair. In a whirlwind of motion, Yifan strikes with precision and power, declaring the strength levels of his attackers with calculated ease. His movements blur as he demonstrates his mastery of inner strength. The vibrant motion lines emphasize the speed and force of his strikes, contrasting against the serene blue night, which now crackles with tension and energy. Yifan counters with explosive force, sending his enemies reeling as he assesses their levels. His observation of 3 at peak stage bone-forging realm adds to the tension, showing his composure even against overwhelming odds. The dramatic clash is highlighted by sharp angles and glowing bursts of light from the impact, perfectly capturing the intensity of the battle. As the action escalates, Yifan comments on the substantial investment made to take his life, a hint of disdain in his tone. The dynamic scene shows his swift movements as he takes control of the skirmish, with the attackers flailing amidst his powerful blows. The chaotic battle is rendered with a mix of motion blur and sharp focus, emphasizing his dominance despite the odds. A close-up of Yifan's determined face captures the moment just before a flurry of punches. His fierce eyes gleam with unwavering focus, while the tightly clenched fist pulls attention to his sheer resolve. The background radiates energy, amplifying the tension and anticipation. Yifan unleashes a barrage of punches in quick succession. The overlapping fists and motion effects create a sense of overwhelming speed and power. The reference to Star Platinum in the translator's note adds a humorous nod to the iconic rapid punch style, blending humor with the breathtaking action. The devastating aftermath of Yifan's attacks. His opponents are flung backward with violent impact, surrounded by bursts of bright energy. Their shocked expressions and the scattered motion effects emphasize their underestimation of his strength. The text bubble captures their disbelief, further solidifying Yifan's overwhelming superiority, the mid-air chaos of an intense battle. A defeated enemy is hurled backward with limbs flailing, leaving a red trail of blood in the dark, rain-soaked night. The downward perspective emphasizes Yifan's dominating position as the victor, though he's yet to appear in the frame, adding tension to the moment. Motion lines streak across the panel, emphasizing the speed and force of the attack. Several opponents are violently thrown through the air, their bodies contorted from the overwhelming force of Yifan's strike. The backdrop of a serene forest contrasts starkly with the brutality of the scene, heightening the impact. Faint leaves and blood droplets trail behind the enemies, while the sound of their screams, "Ah!" echoes through the scene. Yifan dominates the foreground, his blade glowing with an intense fiery hue as it cuts through the darkness. His determined expression and glowing eyes make him look otherworldly. A defeated enemy in the foreground crumples to the ground with a sharp cry, "Ah!" as Yifan's strike lands with pinpoint accuracy. Swirling energy and sparks around his sword add a dramatic flair, capturing his unparalleled skill and ferocity. The assassin lies sprawled on the ground, clutching his wound, his expression a mix of shock and fear. His bloodied mask and wide eyes reveal his disbelief as he stares at Yifan. The speech bubble captures his last desperate attempt to process the situation, as he mutters about Yifan's supposed lack of skills. The panel's low angle makes Yifan's towering figure appear even more intimidating. Yifan smirks knowingly, his calm demeanor radiating confidence and control. His sharp gaze locks onto the downed assassin as he questions the accuracy of the information the assassins received. His composed posture, framed against the serene night sky, contrasts sharply with the chaos around him, underscoring his unwavering command over the situation. The focus shifts back to the injured assassin, his eyes wide with realization. His inner monologue reveals his astonishment at Yifan's calculated mercy, causing pain but avoiding fatal injuries. The panel zooms in on his face, drenched in blood and sweat, as he struggles to comprehend Yifan's masterful control over his attacks. The chilling thought lingers. How can he control his strength so perfectly? Yifan looms over the fallen assassin, his sharp tone demanding answers. His words cut like a blade as he offers the assassin a chance at survival in exchange for information. The rays of moonlight piercing through the trees highlight his figure, emphasizing his authority and dominance. The assassin trembles, pinned down by Yifan's sheer presence, the atmosphere thick with tension. The assassin crashes to the ground with a resounding thud, his face twisted in agony as Yifan's decisive action leaves no room for resistance. His muffled groan, "Ugh!" escapes through his mask as he clutches his injuries. The panel captures the force of the moment, with motion lines and shockwaves adding a sense of raw power to Yifan's strike. Despite his pain and imminent defeat, the assassin raises his head defiantly, his voice unwavering as he boasts of his allegiance to Liyun City's most feared assassins. Blood drips from his mask, his expression a blend of pride and desperation. The tension rises as his speech bubble carries a chilling refusal. "We would rather die than betray our employer." The dark forest and the sharp contrast between light and shadow amplify the gravity of his words, as he accepts his fate with grim resolve. Bai Yifan's expression softens, but his gaze remains sharp as he addresses the defeated assassin. The warm glow in his crimson eyes contrasts with the cold intent behind his words, making his statement feel both mocking and challenging. The close-up of his face highlights his calm dominance in the situation, further amplified by his sardonic smirk. Bai Yifan lifts his foot off the assassin, his movements deliberate and controlled. The gesture signifies both restraint and superiority. The assassin lies below him, clutching his side in pain. The dialogue bubble emphasizes Yifan's calculated pragmatism as he offers a bribe, his tone casual yet layered with underlying menace, a focus to the assassin's defiant reply. The vertical lines of light in the background add tension to the atmosphere as the assassin declares his loyalty to the sect. The glowing full moon and surrounding stars reinforce the gravity of the moment, while the contrast in expressions between Yifan's calm and the assassin's desperate resolve sets the stage for their ideological clash. The assassin stares in awe at the glowing golden ingot in Bai Yifan's hand. The soft, radiant light illuminates both the assassin's bewildered expression and the serene forest background, emphasizing the value and temptation of the bribe. The puff sound effect adds a touch of hesitation, showing the assassin's internal conflict. Bai Yifan stands under the moonlight, his confident posture and slight smirk radiating authority. The assassin kneels before him, humbled and desperate. The dialogue bubble captures the assassin's promise, swearing loyalty to Yifan and guaranteeing his safety from any future assassination attempts in Liyun City. The moonlit forest enhances the solemnity of the moment, a group of assassins kneeling before Bai Yifan in submission. Their dark robes contrast sharply with the faint, cool hues of the forest, underscoring their defeated state. Yifan's commanding figure dominates the scene as he gives his final orders, solidifying his control over the once hostile group. The atmosphere is a perfect blend of dominance and calm resolution. Bai Yifan strokes his chin thoughtfully, his expression calm yet contemplative. The soft moonlight highlights his composed demeanor as he reflects on his limitations and the steps needed for growth. His gentle smile carries a hint of determination, suggesting he's resolved to push past his boundaries. Bai Yifan's ambition and resolve. The framing of his hand against the intricate details of his attire draws attention to the words in the speech bubble, where he declares his need to break through to the blood transfusion realm. The dramatic shading and sharp lines underline the significance of his vow to rise in power and dominate Liyun City. The scene opens with a serene and bright sky. The text, "Next Day," marking a new chapter. The soft sunlight and gentle drifting leaves set a tranquil tone, but the dialogue below immediately disrupts this peace. It introduces a simmering conflict, with a character's scornful thoughts about Lan Shiner, whose actions seem to have crossed some significant boundaries. The view shifts to a bustling city scene filled with intricate buildings and a lively crowd. At the center are two distinct figures, one with striking pink hair flowing down her back, dressed in an elegant yet commanding outfit, and the other in a more subdued yet equally refined attire. Their backs are to the viewer, emphasizing their importance and the intrigue around their destination. The speech bubble hints at a looming power play, questioning the audacity of those who might oppose the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion. In this lighter moment, the focus is on Shiner, her striking pink hair framing a radiant and amused expression. Beside her, a figure in ornate robes speaks reassuringly, diffusing the tension with a light-hearted comment about her dignity and composure. The atmosphere is one of camaraderie and confidence, contrasting with the subtle undertones of the previous tension. The crowd around them, though blurred, adds to the liveliness of the scene, emphasizing their prominence in the bustling city. Lin Yunkai presents a golden hairpin with an enthusiastic smile, his eyes narrowing in joy. He proudly mentions how long it took to procure this treasure from the pavilion, hoping to cheer up Lan Shiner. The close-up emphasizes his gentle expression, as he carefully places the ornate hairpin in her hair. His tones soft, yet playful. Lan Shiner crosses her arms, her vibrant pink hair cascading down her shoulders. Her face reflects a mix of satisfaction and pride as she looks off to the side, her words affirming her delight. That's more like it. The panel highlights her poised yet slightly smug demeanor, glowing in her newfound confidence. Lan Shiner's expression softens into surprise as she notices the hairpins sparkling in her hair. Her wide eyes and slightly open lips portray a mix of admiration and amazement. Yifan steps into the grand hall, his crimson robes glowing under the cascading sunlight. His determined expression reflects his unshakable resolve as his eyes scan the room. The figures in the background blur into insignificance, emphasizing his commanding presence. The air grows tense, the onlookers murmuring among themselves, aware of the power Yifan exudes as he approaches the confrontation. The atmosphere shifts dramatically as a shocked voice exclaims, "How could it be him?" The words hang in the air, a mixture of fear and disbelief directed at Yifan. Lan Shiner's rage flares uncontrollably as she lashes out at him, her words sharp and venomous. "Lin Yunkai, you useless bastard!" The panel highlights Yifan's calm yet unyielding demeanor in the face of her fiery outburst, contrasting the chaos around him. Lan Shiner's anger manifests in a ferocious slap, her movement a blur of motion as her hand connects with Lin Yunkai's face. The impact reverberates through the panel, with bold motion lines emphasizing the sheer force of her strike. Yifan's head snaps to the side, his expression unreadable, as if weighing her actions with cold calculation. Shiner's wild pink hair and furious glare dominate the frame, her wrath a stark contrast to Yifan's composed reaction, an intense and dramatic moment where a furious voice, presumably from Lan Shiner, accuses an unseen figure of failing to kill Yifan. Her words are sharp and biting, dripping with frustration as she questions how her target could still be alive. The speech bubble dominates the space, emphasizing her anger and disbelief. The surrounding atmosphere is tense, with blurred motion lines adding to the intensity of her outburst. Lin Yunkai, clearly distressed, clutches his face as he recoils from an unseen slap. His elaborate golden and blue robes flutter slightly, reflecting his high status, but his teary eyes and flushed cheek expose his vulnerability in this moment. The comedic yet pitiful expression on his face contrasts with his usually composed demeanor, showcasing his failure to meet expectations. The warm glow of the surroundings highlights the public nature of his humiliation. Lan Shiner's sharp voice resonates again as she angrily berates Lin Yunkai. Her fiery words, "Waste, waste, waste, waste," dominate the panel, her frustration spilling over as she declares her intention to handle Yifan herself. The background features the intricate architecture of the city, basked in warm golden hues of sunlight, creating a stark contrast to her cold, cutting words. The dynamic framing and rising tension suggest her resolve to take action personally. Lan Shiner walks with authority, her flowing pink hair and regal demeanor leaving Lin Yunkai struggling to keep up. His voice carries a mix of devotion and frustration as he pleads, "Shiner, don't go so fast. Wait for me." The warm glow of sunlight illuminates their path, casting an air of elegance over the bustling courtyard. With her finger pointing directly at Yifan, Lan Shiner's commanding presence takes center stage. Her expression is sharp and full of demand, while Yifan remains unfazed, his steady posture radiating calm confidence. Behind them, a horned woman stands quietly, her watchful eyes adding an air of intrigue to the charged confrontation. The scene brims with tension, heightened by the striking contrast of their outfits. Yifan's smirk cuts through the moment like a blade, his words laced with biting sarcasm. "Huh! Are you serious?" Shadows accentuate the sharp angles of his expression, underscoring his unwavering confidence. The subtle details in Lan Shiner's clenched fists and poised stance convey her determination, hinting at the clash simmering beneath the surface. Lan Shiner gazes down with a calm but commanding expression. Her violet eyes glow subtly, reflecting her confidence and the firm resolve in her words. The golden hairpin in her hair shimmers under the light, adding an air of royalty to her already overwhelming presence. Her statement, "This young lady's word is absolute," resonates with the crowd, a powerful reminder of her authority. The atmosphere shifts as her unwavering tone solidifies the weight of her command. Lan Shiner leans back on her chair, exuding dominance and playful arrogance. A sly smirk dances on her lips as she points down with a condescending tone. Her relaxed yet provocative posture, paired with her dismissive demeanor, emphasizes her complete control of the situation. The bright lighting reflects her confidence, casting her as the undeniable center of attention. Lan Shiner's raised leg, adorned in sleek blue boots, commands the frame as she completes her demeaning order. Her sharp words, "and lick my shoes," echo her disdain, pushing the boundaries of humiliation for her target. The bold gesture, combined with her poised confidence, showcases the depths of her self-assuredness. The warm glow of the room contrasts sharply with the coldness of her actions. Lan Shiner, standing next to Bai Yifan, holds out the golden token with a polite, yet faintly strained smile. Her posture is composed, but her eyes betray a mix of frustration and forced compliance. The gold token gleams, its significance adding weight to the moment. Bai Yifan, in his dark robes, exudes quiet authority as he directs the situation to his advantage. A close-up of Bai Yifan's face captures his expression of subtle amusement, his dark eyes glinting with restrained malice. His grin widens, exuding a sharp, predatory edge as he relishes the unfolding drama. The cool, dark background accentuates his cunning, framing him as a master manipulator in this scenario. Bai Yifan's smirk deepens as he leans in slightly, his voice dripping with mockery as he remarks, "I can't wait to see a good show." His words hang in the air like a challenge, drawing the attention of everyone in the room. The camera pans to the crowd, where one voice exclaims in shock, "The Imperial Cloud Order of the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion." Lan Shiner's disbelief is mirrored by others, the weight of this revelation hitting everyone hard. The Imperial Cloud Order is revealed in stunning detail. Against a backdrop of golden radiance, the narration explains, "The Imperial Cloud Order is a token given exclusively to extraordinary customers of the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion, representing the highest level of status." The narration continues, highlighting its unparalleled privileges. If there are any special treasures in other merchant houses, the holder of the order can use it to acquire the treasure directly without participating in the auction. The final blow lands with, "Most importantly, the Imperial Cloud Order can be used to obtain unlimited credit at the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion." The implications leave the crowd stunned, their wide-eyed expressions revealing their awe, an astonished bystander exclaiming, "There are more than 20 million people living in Liyun City, and those who have access to this order can be counted on a single hand." The revelation cements Bai Yifan's dominance as the narrative's power dynamic shifts entirely. The mood deepens as Bai Yifan vividly recalls the rainy night at the 10,000 Treasures Pavilion. The muted hues of the scene add gravity to the flashback, rain cascading relentlessly in the background. Bai Yifan walks forward, his expression calm, yet subtly reflective. Behind him, the ever-animated Lan Shiner clings tightly to his back, her exaggerated panic contrasting humorously with his stoic attitude. Her wide eyes and gasping mouth scream her desperation. "Young Master Yifan, could you please be kind enough to sell one of those healing herbs to us?" With a commanding presence, Yifan's voice cuts through the rain, addressing Lan with deliberate sharpness. "Miss Lan, do you need me to remind you that you still owe me money?" His subtle smirk and composed tone add a layer of sly confidence. The perspective highlights his posture, towering and firm, as his words seem to echo amidst the rain. The narrative crescendos with the presentation of the Imperial Cloud Order, a golden emblem radiating an aura of unmatched prestige. The rain momentarily pauses, as if respecting the sheer power of the token. "This Imperial Cloud Order is the most prestigious token of our 10,000 Treasures Pavilion," Yifan declares, offering it with a calm confidence that exudes power and control. The words linger, underlining his unshakable dominance over the situation. Nalan's hand as she reveals the Imperial Cloud Order, its golden brilliance radiating against the dim, muted tones of the flashback. The token's intricate design and significance are amplified as it becomes the focal point, symbolizing prestige and authority. Bai Yifan smirks with a casual yet knowing expression, his eyes glinting with confidence as he raises the Imperial Cloud Order. The muted flashback tones soften the surroundings, making his sly demeanor and the token's golden glow stand out. His words, demanding an explanation of the token's significance, are loaded with subtle sarcasm, a reflection of his dominance in this scenario. Lan Shiner's face contorts in disbelief and anger, her normally composed exterior shattering under the weight of Bai Yifan's revelation. The flashback's muted tones only serve to magnify the intensity of her emotions as her wide, shocked eyes fixate on the token. Her incredulous exclamation captures her struggle to reconcile how Bai Yifan could possess something so impossibly rare, an artifact even beyond her father's reach. Bai Yifan, exuding an air of authority, twirls the imperial cloud order with a mocking smile. The radiant gold of the token glints under the warm lighting, highlighting its undeniable importance. His posture and expression drip with confidence, making it clear he's savoring the upper hand. In the foreground, Lan Shiner's visibly trembling hand clenches her ornate dress, signaling her growing helplessness and rage. The tension between Bai Yifan and Lan Shiner reaches its peak as he steps closer. His calm and calculating smirk contrasts sharply with her wide, panicked eyes. The golden imperial cloud order, held nonchalantly in his hand, becomes the center of attention. Lan Shiner's flustered demeanor betrays her faltering confidence, her lips parted as if to protest, but no words escape. Bai Yifan's final condescending blow strikes with unrelenting cruelty. "You might as well start crawling," he declares, the shadows of the panel accentuating the sinister curve of his smile. His towering figure dominates the scene, casting Lan Shiner in a small, vulnerable frame. Lan Shiner's face twists in desperation, her voice cracking as she barely manages to stammer, "I—" The vibrant pink of her hair is in stark contrast to the shadow falling over her face, emphasizing her crumbling confidence. Her wide eyes and trembling lips reflect her internal struggle as the weight of Bai Yifan's words crush her pride. As Li Yunqing, dressed in resplendent white and gold robes, grips the shoulder of a guard in brown attire with a firm hold. His expression is a mix of frustration and authority, as he yells about the eldest young lady of the city lord's mansion. The guard, startled, glances back, his unease evident. Li Yunqing's golden embellishments shimmer under the sunlight pouring through the ornate hall, emphasizing his commanding presence. The perspective shifts to the smug figure of Lin Yuan, dressed in golden-trimmed brown robes, his lips curling into a confident grin. "Oh, the eldest young lady of the city lord's mansion, huh?" he mocks, his tone dripping with sarcasm as he challenges the situation with casual arrogance. His playful demeanor contrasts sharply with Li Yunqing's tense figure, visible from the side, his glare growing sharper. Inside a grand hall, a group of attendants in blue robes surrounds a seated Lan Shiner, their mocking laughter filling the space. The leader, with a wide, exaggerated grin, leans in close, sneering, "Eldest young miss, please hurry up, or else it'll be getting dark soon." The group's expressions range from scornful to gleeful, their collective stance radiating condescension. Lan Shiner's vibrant pink hair, visible from the foreground, reflects her growing discomfort. Lan Shiner is shown on her hands and knees, her vibrant pink hair cascading messily around her face as beads of sweat drip from her brow. Her expression is one of sheer humiliation and despair, with wide, tear-filled eyes and clenched fists trembling against the ground. Lin Yunkai's shocked expression fills the frame as he cries out, "Shiner!" His mouth hangs open, and his wide eyes convey a mix of disbelief and concern as he reaches forward instinctively. His pristine golden and black robes, symbolizing his high status, seem almost out of place in the chaos of the moment. Lan Shiner's face, tilted downward as tears stream from her wide, furious eyes. Her clenched teeth and the streaks of moisture running down her cheeks reveal the storm of anger, shame, and frustration roiling inside her. Her pink hair frames her features, damp with sweat, as the shadows around her accentuate the rawness of her emotions. Bai Yifan stands tall and resolute, his crimson and gold attire exuding authority and elegance. His sharp gaze is locked onto his adversary, and his voice carries a confident edge as he says, "Miss Lan, if you think I'm someone who can be trifled with, then you've got the wrong idea." The lighting from above highlights his composed demeanor, making his words feel even more commanding as the focus remains on his unshakable stance. Lan Shiner is seen bowing deeply, her signature pink hair cascading downward, contrasting against the darker tones of the panel. Her expression is hidden, but the tension is palpable as her posture conveys submission or reluctance. Bai Yifan's side is partially visible, standing tall and unyielding, emphasizing the power dynamic in the scene. Bai Yifan addresses the crowd with a calm yet confident tone, his sharp words breaking the murmurs around him. I, Bai Yifan, don't like to get into trouble, but I'm not afraid of it either. His determined posture and steady voice command attention, with the golden-lit hall behind him framing the scene with an air of formality. Bai Yifan, whose calm but piercing expression reveals a sense of cold resolve. His hand firmly grips Lan Shiner's shoulder, his other hand clutching her golden hairpin. The intricate design of the hairpin glints faintly under the soft lighting, highlighting its value and importance. Lan Shiner's head tilts slightly, her pink hair cascading forward as her tense posture betrays her unease. The moment of destruction unfolds as Bai Yifan crushes Lan Shiner's golden hairpin in his hand. The once pristine ornament shatters into glowing golden shards, scattering dramatically in the air. Lan Shiner's face is a canvas of disbelief and heartbreak, her wide, violet eyes brimming with tears as she stares at the fragments of her cherished possession. Her trembling lips and flowing tears amplify the gravity of the moment, while the sharp contrast between the radiant golden shards and the darkened background emphasizes her utter despair. Bai Yifan's unseen but deliberate action adds to the overwhelming tension of the scene. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our next exciting recap. New videos will drop.